wanting to watch movies.
All that matters is today. You present, man, 3.5 hours, do this together, man. It starts with us, it ends with us. Hey, no cheers! KO, 3, 1, 2, 3, go! Come on, boys, let's go now!
This is no ordinary job.
That silver and black dip.
This is the silver and black.
It just hits different.
This is the Raiders.
Got locked in now, laser focus! Hey, this could get interesting.
Rise of the brand. The greatness of the Raiders lies in its future. May the best is yet to come.
I'm officially a Raider. I'm excited to be humble and hungry and get to work.
That's big boy football, right? You got moss. That's what you want to see right there.
The grit of this franchise sticks out. This is a historic franchise. You know, it's really important to me that we're a gritty team, that the way that they were back in the old days.
Just amazing concentration.
But why not us? Why not this staff? You know, why not this group of players?
There's a certain mentality and play style that's expected from different organizations. Right.
Don't make them pay, fellas! Don't make them pay!
I just want to do my 111. I believe that leadership is earned, it's not given.
I feel like I've always been meant to be a Raider.
Let's go to fight!
So that first step was transferring and challenging myself, being in an uncomfortable environment. Because when you're uncomfortable, you're able to grow. It's the motto of the Raiders. Once a Raider, always a Raider.
That's what we're going to be about, winning.
Everything we got!
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
That was fire.
Yo! Sick intro. Welcome. What's good, everybody?
You had me on mute and everything. You tried to play me, JD, but here we go.
You say you wear the Raiders on your sleeve. You say you bleed silver and black. But when the pressure hits, do you stand your ground or do you run? If you've got what it takes, step into the arena and show us. This is fight or flight with Black the quarterback. Fight or flight.
Let's get to the rules of Fight or Flight Club. That was made by JD Raider First Down. Thank you, sir. But let's get to these rules to Fight or Flight Club. Rule number 1, you do talk about Fight or Flight Club. Rule number 2 is you absolutely talk about Fight or Flight Club. Rule 3 is if someone says flight, taps out, the fight is over. Rule 4 is only 2 people in the fight unless specified. You know, somebody might want to go 1v3 and test their skills. So it's one fight at a time, so no multi-arguments going on. No ad hominem attacks. Attack the point, not the person. If this is your first night at Fight or Flight Club, you have to fight. And most of all, number 8 is respect is a must. Yes, sir. Welcome to Fight or Flight Club, brought to you by Business Decision Sports. The stage is set. The debate topics is locked in, and it's time to see who's gonna stand their ground and see who get ran off this panel. So let's introduce the combatants. Let's get to it. Let me see. I see my man's right here.
Those intros were fire, both of them.
Here I am, JD's Raiders First Downs, proud employee of the 401_Raider_Jeff
production company. Salute to the Raider Nation. Let's have some fun with this Fight or Flight Club. See what people got.
Sir.
Raider Nation, Jason, man, what's up, man? Repping that Bay. Great to be here with you guys, man. Appreciate you guys having me here, and shit, ready to have some fun. Let's go.
You got the extra Bay love.
What's good, man? It's a bit Raider. You know what it is, the bad guy Raider Nation. You know, the truth teller, soothsayer, all that good stuff. You know what I do. Let's get this cracking.
I think you messed up. You might want to say that one more time. I want you to be clear.
Oh, for sure. Y'all know what it is, man. It's a bit Raider. You know, the bad guy Raider Nation, the truth teller, the soothsayer. Keep it 100. Y'all know how I get down, man. Y'all done seen me, so let's get it popping.
Hey, y'all know who it is, Raider Twan and the congregation. Yes, the chaplain of the nation, also here to give you some of that Raider gospel.
Let's see here.
Fight or flight, baby. Welcome, Raider Unleashed Militia, and the rest of the people in everybody's chat. Make sure you pop over to each one, give us a like, comment, show some love, and enjoy the show. You know what to do. Raiders.
That's what I'll talk about.
Sacktown Raider Mike here. I couldn't hear Rebel or Raider Nation, Jason, but Sacktown Raider Mike here, man. This ought to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it. Um, first time. So this ought to be a lot of fun, though. Let's see how this thing goes. Let's get cracking.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sir.
All right, so here's the structure of the debate for you fellas. We're gonna have an 8-minute round table where you guys just talk it up, and I'm gonna see, who got the best points, opposing points. That's essentially what I'm looking for. And then we're gonna have a matchup. And then with the matchup, we're gonna have a mediator, a judge, and the chat for sure gets to get a vote. So it's a best 2 out of 3 system. You guys will have an opening argument where you get 2 minutes apiece, and then you'll have the cross. That's 10 minutes, 10-minute conversations. I'll go over the rules when we get there. The closing is 3 minutes each, and then we will have a verdict, 2 out of 3 systems that I mentioned already, y'all. So let's take a look at the chat before we get popping, because I want to thank all you guys for popping up on this good old Friday.
Salute to the chat.
Chat
lives matter, baby.
Yeah, chat lives matter for sure. There's a lot of people. So shout out to y'all. I can't even go through it, but let's get to it. So let me start. Let me see. First topic. Let me see. Raider Twine, pick a number between 1, 2, and 3.
2.
Technically,
2?
it's between 1 and 3. Yeah.
Right?
Good choice.
All right, here's the first question for you gentlemen. Here's a question. First question is, you lose points for that. All right, I'm just gonna throw the general topic, and you guys run with it. You see it right there at the bottom. Was it time to move on from Derek Carr? So let me get the clock going. Let me then
Clock is ticking.
Yeah,
maybe not.
No, not yet. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. All right.
Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity.
T minus 8 minutes.
Go ahead.
Who's stepping on the dance floor? Music's playing.
Anybody goes or what?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
go.
I'll start it off.
Yes,
Yes,
it was time to move on from Derek.
it was time to move on from Derek Carr. I think it settled its course. Nothing against him. He gave us 9 years of solid quarterback play. I wish it could have been built a little bit better around him to maybe make the team as a whole that much better, because I thought as a stand-in quarterback he was sufficient. He did a really good job. Sometimes he played at a Pro Bowl level, and sometimes he played like he was in Division III college football. A lot of ups and downs. No shame on him changing coaches every 5 weeks, I'm I'm embellishing that a little bit just for context. Is he's going having to switch from offensive coordinators to offensive coordinators and head coaches to head coaches. He never really got a chance to settle down. I thought his best time was at first with Jack Del Rio, but from a statistical standpoint, the second going into the third year with John Gruden, you really started to see what the potential was. But we didn't have a team built around him. Letting him, yes, it was a good idea letting him go. Problem is, we didn't have a plan. There was no plan in place to fill in for him, to come back behind him, and that's why we're in the position we're in now.
Yeah, man, I agree. I agree with JD. I mean, as he said, the relationship had kind of run its course. What's the old saying? The definition of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is called what?
Insanity.
No, it's called being a Raiders fan.
Oh, same thing.
It's Derek Carr.
Insanity.
And first of all, he played a hand in his own demise, because after he had one of the best seasons of his career, the best season of his career to that point under Musgrave, what did he do? He kind of facilitated Musgrave being pushed out the door in favor of his quarterback coach at the time, Todd Downing, who failed him miserably. And then you could say, oh, maybe the team wasn't as good, yada, yada. Then Todd Downing got a job in Tennessee and failed there miserably. So obviously it was a Todd Downing issue, not necessarily a Raiders issue. And Todd Downing getting the job was primarily because Derek Carr had pushed for it. And then even, when he had the best time of his career, in JD's opinion, under Gruden, what was the controversy back then during Gruden's time? Was Gruden kept keeping his eye on other quarterbacks. There was a time people thought we were going to go after several different people, whether it was Tom Brady, whether it was people thought we were going to move over Kyler Murray. Every year there was an expectation that we were going to draft a quarterback high or bring somebody else in to kind of take Derek Carr's place. Derek Carr, to his credit, he persevered and he never truly lost his job until Josh McDaniels got there and went to go in a different direction. It was unfortunate for the Raiders that all season prior that we had signed Derek Carr to a new contract that included a no trade clause, so we ended up getting nothing in return from him. I think that's part of the reason why we didn't have anything in place afterwards, is because we kind of handcuffed ourselves by giving him a no trade clause. When the rumors were, I think 2 years prior, the Indianapolis Colts were willing to give up 2 first-round picks for him, and we ended up letting him go for nothing after Derek Carr said, whatever he said about this, he couldn't make up his mind where he wanted to go. We subsequently released him, and the team that everybody kind of knew he would go to, which was the Saints, he ended up going to, and then he had 2 unsuccessful seasons there before he ended up having to retire due to injury. So, I mean,
Everybody agreed. Hold on. Half the time is gone. Everybody agreed. It was time for Derek Carr to move on. Everybody.
I'm opposed to that. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
And yes, I do see both sides of the situation, but I also feel like there was some stability when we had Derek Carr here under the franchise. We're still trying to identify who our starting quarterback is. And to JD's point, even though he's on the opposing side, one of the issues that we failed to do while we had a stability at quarterback was to bring in or have someone be the incumbent. So that was our, as an organization, that was our failure. But I don't think we should have let it go of Derek Carr, especially the way that things have played out at the end with Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels. I think even currently where we are with the team, I think if we had Derek Carr here, we would be in a far more stable situation, not just only at the quarterback, but also in leadership. We're still trying to identify who's a leader in this place, whether you believe it's Max Crosby or you don't really think Max Crosby is a leader of this team. So a lot of the BS that we dealt with, with all the things we're going through with Ruggs and just keeping the franchise together, it was Derek Carr that was the glue that kept all of that together. So I have a little difference into was it time for Derek Carr to go? I think it was getting close for Derek Carr to go, but I felt like we should have had his Fernando Mendoza. You know what I'm saying?
Don't use
him.
all your bullets. Don't use all your bullets because you might have to go a whole fight.
Mm.
This is just a little. Anybody else opposed?
I'm opposed. I was opposed to it just mainly for the fact. I mean, did he run his course? I don't know if he ran his course completely. I mean, the defense is he didn't have a great team around him. But the main thing was we weren't ready for it at that time. We had no backup. Would we go get Garoppolo? Come on, you know. And then it was just a constant tour of 2 to 3 quarterbacks a year. So that's why I had a problem with it. I mean, as far as was his time up with the Raiders, could have been, but we needed to, we before we can do that, we need to have a backup. Before you can't just get rid of your quarterback if you don't have a backup plan. You don't have somebody already on the team that could take his place, and we did not at that time.
I agree with Mike. I'm gonna say it's a mixed bag. I kind of feel like, it was time to move on from Carr, but the point in the situation with the coach's ego because the guy wants to call plays at the line of scrimmage and doesn't want to do what the coaches says when you're putting them in bad plays and you have a veteran quarterback that knows. I mean, Devontae Adams had his best career season with Derek Carr. Derek Carr had one of his best years with Devontae Adams, and then you let Josh McDaniels come in there and just destroy that with Dave Ziegler. And I feel like when I know he had a no trade clause, but when you move on from a guy that's been here 9 years, and you look at the situations that we've been in past, since then, paying guys like Jimmy Garoppolo $70-something million, paying Gardner Minshew $24 million, paying Geno Smith $74 million, when we could have been paying Derek Carr, less than that. What was it? Like $34-35 million. I mean, you could have been playing him. You could have went and if we weren't over 500 or we were 7-8, then you could have easily drafted a quarterback and
That's
let
it.
him learn
That's
from
it.
a
That's
guy
it. Time up.
from
Time
a
up.
veteran like DC.
Good points. Good points. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, who's the very first person that went? That was you, huh, JD?
JD went first.
Yeah, JD. Okay, let me see who. Let me see what the chat talking about. Who y'all think should go first in the first round right here? I mean, Rebel. I mean, it's not necessarily about who wins the first round. It's about who you want to see, what matchup you want to see. Because I'm with you guys. Some people did bring some hot fire. Let me see. Let's see.
Yeah, Chris is already voting for Severe.
Oh,
I
well,
call
you
bullshit.
agree with Twan? He cooked. Who cooked? Who cooked? Let me
Chris
read the
from
let me
Protect the
read the
Shield.
super chat. Let me read the super chats. I saw a super chat. I do want to acknowledge that. Raiders. Thank you for having 5 on it. I don't know who got it, but I appreciate it. Whoever get it,
I don't
let's
know.
get it.
Chris says McDaniels is the reason they had that strong season, but weren't we in the playoffs the year before with Rick Bisaccia?
Okay. Okay, this is what this who y'all got since y'all lagging, y'all don't want to tell me who the first two. I'm gonna go with JD. and I'm gonna go with Sacktown Raider Mike. I think that's how that's gonna go down. So what I need a hold on, let me see. I need a judge. Let me see,
Hey,
who was
go.
that? That was Twine.
Did, I don't think. Did Jason say anything in that wrong?
No, he
That
just
that.
chose not to.
Okay, well then let him be the judge because I think a lot of us. I
Okay,
think
yeah,
we
that's
already
cool.
had takes.
That's cool. That's perfect.
Fair enough.
Hold on. Let me see. There's Mike.
Shouldn't we have to know their take before they're the judge?
No, not necessarily.
I mean,
So let me see. We're gonna go with this gentleman right here, and then you go. Yeah, you're right. So that'll be good. All right, let's go. Okay, I almost got it. Twine. Gotta change with Twine. Yo, I
You
gotta
want me to
get
get out?
this. Nah, just chill out. I gotta wiggle my way through it. All right, let's get it. All right, here we go. All right, so these are the rules, man. These are the rules. Yeah, now y'all should pay attention to see who wins what now, y'all. Now is the time. So here's the rules for all right. So you guys gonna get 2 minutes apiece to do your opening. And then after your opening, you're gonna do the cross. You get 10 minutes for that. It's gonna be a ping pong style. Every question requires an answer. You cannot ask 3 questions in a row without the other person respond. When a person is answering a cross-examination question, they get a maximum of 30 seconds before the asking person is allowed to interrupt or move to the next point. Now, if a code red is called, that's when you jump in and do a little too much, you'll be put in the penalty box. If a debater if a debater repeatedly speaks over someone when they do not have control of the floor, the judge first warns and then will invoke a code red, muted for 60 seconds. And then after that, there's a closing, 3 minutes each. And then after that, we would go into the verdict. That's when I'll get a vote as a mediator, the judge will get a vote, and the audience, you definitely get a vote as well. So let's get to it. All right. Let me see. So Judge, you get to choose who you want to go first. I'm gonna set the clock. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yep.
For sure. Let's just go left to right. We'll go JD.
All right.
JD.
JD, your time starts now.
What's the topic? Same topic?
Same topic.
Oh, so as I addressed it earlier, that the time that we had with Derek Carr was much appreciated, right? But it was about time to move on from him. We've clearly stated that there had to be a plan in place, and there wasn't. The regime that we had in place, they didn't know which hand was touching which hand, who was coming and who was going. It was a travesty that our franchise had to go through that, but we endure. So hopefully one day we can get out of that, and I'm hoping that today is the day with this new regime that we shake off that funk and start to move in the right direction. I don't. I'm not mad that they let Derek Carr walk out. Yeah, the circumstances of letting him go without any compensation, that was kind of stupid in and of itself. But consider the source and the people that were making those decisions at the time, they're no longer with us. So can't really go back and undo that one, can we? But yeah, I think the time to move on Derek Carr after 9 years, I kind of saw it after about year 7, year 8, that it was going to happen. Because to me, it just seemed like we maximized his ability as a quarterback at that point and what he was going to do for our franchise. So in the long run, I have no animosity against Derek Carr. Still consider him a Raider. Appreciate what he did for us, but we had to move on. I mean, it was getting to that point. And likewise, we didn't have a team around him as well. It just didn't seem like it just seemed like we were stuck in mud. Or as Severe said,
you can finish your point.
Or as Severe said, you know, if you do the same things and expect different results, you're just a Raider fan. So it's going to continue like that. So hopefully, knock on wood, this regime changes that.
All right. You'll get 2 minutes as well, brother. And I'll when it gets to 10 seconds, I forgot to tell you I should tell you when you have 10 seconds left so you have time to finish your point.
All right.
All right. You ready, Sacktown?
Yes, sir.
You representing the Bay Area and back down. So let's go.
All right. All right, man. You know, I mean, Derek Carr, I love the guy, man. I love his brother. I love the fact, you know, his whole morals and all that stuff. Kind of like what we got going with Fernando now. You know, is he a better moral person than he is a quarterback? Maybe we don't know yet with Fernando, but Derek Carr turned out to be that. Was he a great quarterback? No. Was he a bad quarterback? No. But I mean, his path is run his time. But the problem I have with getting rid of them when they did, is the fact that we had no backup plan. We ended up going with, you know, like Garoppolo, and then like Rebel mentioned earlier, and Minshew, and you know all this waterfall of quarterbacks that were below mediocre. Derek Carr could have held us through those years better until we got a hold of somebody. You know, maybe just hold on to him for another year, and then and let him finish the year. But I mean, there was a definite downfall. I'm surprised nobody's brought this up yet after the ankle injury. You know, we all remember that. I was at the Oakland Coliseum when that happened. And that place went silent. Everybody was on their phones trying to figure out what happened to him, and he just wasn't the same quarterback after that. And so I think after that, you know, people started losing faith in him and stuff. But that's when the Raiders should have started thinking, you know, okay, we got to come up with something, you know, some kind of backup, get somebody in here, draft somebody in, you know, maybe not a first rounder or something, but somebody to get him in here to start learning the team. But they didn't do that. So he was better than what we had
10 seconds.
planned. Okay, he was better than what we had planned. We just should have planned it out better, or the Raiders should have planned it out better. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, that was good. I don't know who's ahead. No, that was pretty good. So we're gonna go into the cross. You guys remember the rules. Allow the person to talk for at least, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, get a complete thought out. But if they lingering on, you can get it and you can just cut it off. Like they might be trying to filibuster the time. So uh, just go ahead and be respectful. You know the rules. Ad hominem attacks, you'll get a warning. Anything after that, no other warning, you get muted. All right, gentlemen, are you ready?
Sure.
Let's see. I'll let you know. Go.
All right.
Oh, you
One
go
point I
first.
have with you, Sacktown, is everything kind of jives with what I was talking about earlier, and we're kind of on the same page, except for you had mentioned something about give him one more year. Then is it going to be one more year, and then one more year, and then one more year? Because then we're just dragging the inevitable along. So at some point, you got to make that decision. You got to make a command decision. You got to stand up in front of everybody and say, "Hey, now's the time to cut it off. It's time to move forward. Let's do it." Now, we both agree that there was no plan in place. So if you don't have a plan in place, what good does it do to make a decision like that? It doesn't. It doesn't. And the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, that was a dog fest to begin with. Even when I heard it before they made that decision, I was just thinking, what are you doing? You're downgrading. Why are you doing that? So in a roundabout way, you're kind of right. Probably should have just kept him and not bring Garoppolo in. But knowing what we know now, right, with the whole relationship and the dynamic between him and Josh McDaniel, it just was not working. There was no cohesion. Now, we hear, oh, they're still friends, they still talk, they still text with each other. That's fine. That happens because there is some type of friendship and some type of brotherhood no matter what. But at what point do we realize that there was no cohesion between the two of them, between the lines on game day, or even during practice, for that matter? So at some point, you got to cut it off. The crappy part about it is, well, I say crappy part, but inevitably, it's McDaniels and Ziegler, and that's end of discussion right there. That was, to say the least, a nuclear bomb dropped on the organization with those two, and we have not recovered from that. So at some point, we have to recover from that. It's just a matter of time whether or not the decisions that we've made here recently pan out. So I'll let you talk.
Mike, you there?
Oh yeah, I didn't know if he was done yet. Um, no, I see what you're saying about keeping them year after year, and then what happens next year, then what happens. No, they needed it. Okay, they finally decided. Okay, we don't want him. We're going to sit him on the bench for the last couple games. Okay, now from that point, you have 1 year to figure out what you're going to do, and then get rid of him year after year after year. That's what we were doing before that. So no, that's not what I meant to say. Maybe I didn't clarify myself enough. I said keep him for just a year, and then come up with a plan. Then you have a whole year to, like, maybe get a free agent, maybe get a UDFA, maybe get a draft somebody. Maybe not so much in the first round or second round. Maybe get some, like, Derek Hart. What did he get drafted? Fourth round, I believe. So or no, he was second round. I'm sorry, Matt was fourth. But anyway, but get somebody in the draft. But no, not definitely not keep year after year after year. Just get the 1 year to get some kind of plan, because they went into a bum rush after they got rid of Derek Carr, and then we ended up with people like Garoppolo, and then Minshew, and then our savior and grace, Geno Smith. You know, it's just ridiculous. They could have done that in 1 year. They could have found somebody in free agency or something, because you know, but no, not year after year after year. I'm good. That's all
So
I
I just
wanted
got
to
a
say.
question because it popped up in the chat. Do I sound like I'm not standing firm on that it was the right decision to let him go? Because I seem like it might not sound convincing the way I say it, but absolutely it was the right time to let him go. At some point, we already maximized what we were going to get out of him. I didn't see any growth whatsoever in our whole organization or as a football team by keeping him on the roster, and by them benching him the last two games. I believe that was more had to do with the contractual issues as well.
Hmm.
That if he was to get hurt in any of those last two games, then he was
Right.
going to get paid a buttload of money and guarantees for the next year. So that in and of itself kind of sped up the process of showing him the door. Um, I really don't like the way it happened in that respect, but you know what? NFL's a business, and it also stands not for long. So if you don't hold your end of the bargain, gotta go, right? He was getting paid a lot of money to lead a franchise, to be a stellar top 10. He get top 10 money to be a top 10 quarterback, and it just wasn't happening. And I know somebody out there is going to peel back at ESPN stats. That's okay. That's fine if you want to do that. But you know, and I know we all watch the same freaking games, and just with our own eyes, what we can see, that it just was not happening. Hell, they couldn't even cross the 50-yard line
So what do you
against
gotta
the
say?
Saints. Come on. We couldn't even cross
So
the
JD,
50-yard line against
what
the
do you
Saints.
say about
We couldn't even cross the 50-yard line against
JD? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you hear me? So what do you
Yeah.
say about they forget that it was a good good business decision for them to get rid of him before the bonus kicked in, but what about the lack of planning of having a quarterback, which left us in this limbo?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, I believe I stated that when I first spoke, that there was no plan in place, for one, and number two, there was no, and not to his downfall, is I don't think we really built a team around him to be successful as well either. So I'm just adding that into that point, okay? But to be in the long shot, that there was no plan in place when they let him out the door, but I also thought too, and the writing was on the wall when we hired Josh McDaniels, but sometime he was going to get his creepy little hands out there and try and get his little Jimmy boy to come in here and play quarterback for us. And that was a disaster. Thank you very much. Very much.
Yeah, I think it sounds to me like we're all kind of agreeing. I mean, I know this is just between me and JD on this round, but the previous round, we all kind of said the same thing. Yeah, it might have been time to go, but we just weren't ready for it at that time. I think
Yep.
we all, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, if I'm misquoting you, but it sounds to me like that's what we're all kind of saying.
Yeah. Even though it's just me and you on the dance floor right now, I'm sure the other guys can nod in accordance that that's actually what happened. It
Well, Mike,
probably
you
wasn't
made
the
a
right
point that
way. We didn't have a plan. Those that were making decisions made wrong decisions therein and thereafter. So it
so
just
Mike,
snowballed from there.
yeah, so Mike, you made a point that they didn't have a succession plan, and but you think so, are you saying you agree that it may have been the time to go if they would have had a succession plan?
Mm, That's a tough one, but I'm going to go ahead and say no. I like Derek Carr. I thought he was a mediocre, I mean, not a mediocre, a stable quarterback. You know, a quarterback that you can go out there and the coach tells him, I want this from you. I don't want you to go out there and be Superman and win the game for us. I want you to control the turnovers, which he did. I want you to, I mean, how about his fourth quarter comebacks that Derek Carr did? We've all witnessed them at least on TV, if not live, many a times. These fourth quarter heroic comebacks, and that's just because the team wasn't in the situation during the game, and he had to pull out something out of his what to uh to win the game, and he did that, and he did that several times. So I was fine with what he was at right until we figured out something. Yes, I think we should have kept him.
You sticking with that motherfucker?
You know
No.
what? You know what? I'm gonna run with God and family here, Raiders for life. Thank you very much. Yeah, if McDaniel's McDumbass, whatever you want to call him, hadn't got his hands on Derek Carr and it had been somebody else, what could have happened? Right? Maybe it could have been a lot better than what it was. But I'm gonna just use one game as an example, and that's the New Orleans game. Everybody remembers that we didn't even cross the 50-yard line with him in at quarterback. Okay,
Okay.
that's a problem. If you're gonna get paid that kind of money and be that kind of quarterback, you should at least be able to get your offense past the 50-yard line. 17 seconds, 16, 15, 14.
Yeah, he had that game, no doubt about it. But he also had other games where
10
2 minutes
seconds.
left, and he threw the winning touchdown.
Yeah, there are those. I'll give you that.
So I mean,
But that year there was
time.
none.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the closing. All right. So you're gonna have 3 minutes, and I'm gonna give you a question that I saw in the chat. Hey, Ray Flores, thank you for sneaking into the building. You will not be fined. You showed up in time. Thank you, sir. Um, so JD, you can to this question, and also it gives you enough time to do a closing as well. So let's see. Here is your question. Here's a statement. It was a failure on the Raiders side to release Carr, plain and simple. Another team would have given up some draft capital instead of nothing in return. It was the complete ego on McDumbass. Let me get your clock. Your 3 minutes starts now.
In a roundabout way, it was a failure for the Raiders to release Carr in the way that they did, and having that kind of offer for a trade, absolutely. And why is that? Because just like is indicated in this comment, and we all know he had a huge ego, and he was not going to let that supersede his decisions. It was his way or no way. And for him to bypass some type of trade offer like that, especially if it was 2 1s, right? That was stupid. That was real stupid. And that will live in infamy. That's another reason why you'll never see that cat as a head coach ever again in the NFL. And most likely, depending on how New England does this year, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets shown the door in New England anytime soon. So, yes, that was an ego thing, but the totality of what we're talking about, was it right to move on from Derek Carr? I don't think anybody in here or in Raider Nation could disagree that we probably got to the point we were going to get the best we were going to get out of Derek Carr, and it was time to think greater than that. So it was time. You always, once you get to a certain point, if nothing's happening, you got to start to address that situation and see, can we do better? Can we get somebody better? And I didn't see anything in free agency at the time, but you never know. I mean, we could have probably pulled in a Joe Flacco or a Sam Darnold and paired them with the right coaching and been successful. Who knows? I think this going out and getting Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler was a bad decision. And that decision, and I know why Mr. Davis or Mark Davis made that decision. He was chasing the Patriot way. He figured that franchise had so much success over the years that he was going to try and get a snippet of it, and that what happened in Denver with Josh McDaniels just was an anomaly and wasn't going to happen with the Raider organization. Well, unfortunately, that was wrong, correct? That was absolutely wrong. And we knew that. Once you saw the press conferences of him being introduced with him and Ziegler, it was, you knew that there was going to be some severe pain in trying to put a successful team together and bring it out week in and week out and be successful and be somebody we could be proud
10 seconds.
of. So, in the long run, it was right to move on from him, but I'm gonna full punch say we did it it was done the wrong way.
All right. Perfect time. All right. You ready, Sacktown?
So, am I going to answer the same question again?
No, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or a statement from the
All right.
chat.
All right.
from Pizzle Wizzle, Pizzle Washington himself.
What's up, Piz?
His statement was a decade with long enough. Let me set the clock for you, sir. I'll let you know when you can go.
Okay.
Let's see. You can go now.
Okay. Yeah, a decade was long enough. That was. I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that point. What I'm disagreeing with on the part of when they got rid of him is that they also had a decade to start coming up. I mean, most teams, even though if they do get a good quarterback, like look at Green Bay. They had Brett Favre. What do? They drafted. Um, Aaron Rodgers, and he sat for years. They had a backup plan. When he started getting older, they also had another backup plan for him. The Raiders never did that. That is the part that I have a problem with is the fact that the organization never um, came up with a backup plan in that whole decade to come up, especially after the ankle injury. And I'm going to bring that up again, that ankle injury. I mean, that's when we started seeing the decline. He started getting like a little. It was kind of like almost like when oh God, third down, Hunter Renfro. Once he got that one humongous hit where he about lost his head, and he just wasn't the same after that. Well, Derek Carr wasn't the same after that ankle injury. He broke his ankle. That's no joke, and he got timid, more timid after that. I shouldn't say. I'm not going to call him timid. I'm going to say it just didn't have the same oomph as he did before. And so we had the time to do that, and that's my argument is that yeah, a decade's enough, 5 years is enough, 3 years could be enough. If you you can you have to have a plan though. You can't just go, okay, we're done. You're sitting out these 2 games, and then we're gonna go get Jimmy Garoppolo. That's our plan. Woo, yeah, good idea. You know,
1 minute.
as soon as they hired Garoppolo, I already named him Jimmy Garoppolo. No, because I knew within 4 games he wasn't going to be playing anymore. I mean, he was just injury prone, and that's our backup plan. See if we can get Garoppolo, and then see if he can actually last the season. That was our backup plan. That's where I have a problem with the thing. I don't care if it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter. You have to have it's a quarterback. It's not like all positions are important, of course, but it's your quarterback. You have to have a backup plan. And
10 seconds.
if you got a good quarterback, you still have to get another quarterback in the rings to bring into the future.
All right. All right, gentlemen. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. So the first round, the inaugural fight, starting off with the DC conversation. All right, chat, it's y'all time to let me know who do y'all think became victorious in that round right there, that first round. Let's see. I'm looking for a name. I gotta see. It's either JE in the chat or Sack in the chat. Well, Sacktown. Just put that. Okay, yeah.
Good job, Sacktown.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, JD voted for me. JD voted for me. Yeah.
He kicked my ass in that debate.
I'm looking at the chat. Let's see what's the chat talking.
Old man got beat by an older man.
This is a very good one too. It's a good starting point.
Yeah. Bizzle say Sacktown. This was a good match. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, it looks like the chat.
If you wrote Sacktown in the chat, I think it'll go to other people. You see how all
Cool.
three of those, like JD, you, and Pizzle, all say the
Yeah, I'm
same
not
thing.
looking at that. Yeah, whoever's I guess if, I'm not typing in the chat, so if it's one of us, I guess, or
It
whatever. I
was
don't
me.
even know how mine. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm looking at Pizzle. I know Pizzle not in here. I know that Arnie not in here. And let me see where G Fam at. G Fam, who are you talking about? Let's see. Oh, is it what's this right here? Hold on. G Fam says he has to go with Sacktown. Okay, the other guys are coming. Like, well,
Yeah,
they're gonna.
Candy wants to see the other guys. She's tired of
Yeah, well,
seeing me and
they'll
JD.
be here. They'll be here in a second. Un momento, por favor. I was waiting on the. I was waiting for the. What's that say? The Kings to come out. Let's see. I like that. So okay, let's see. All right. So it looked like the chat decided Sacktown Mike. Okay, that's 1 point for Sacktown Mike.
Go Sacktown.
I'm
Wow,
gonna. I'm
thank you
gonna. I'm
guys.
gonna.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna. I'm
That's
gonna.
some tough. That's some tough competition, JD. I mean, that dude
I'm
knows
gonna
his
catch
stuff.
my. It's not over with yet. Listen,
Jake.
what they say on Pulp Fiction. Never mind. I ain't gonna say that line. It's the first show. So
Right.
I'm gonna go with my. I'm gonna cast my vote first right now. They both were definitely good perspectives. Um, I think one perspective was a little bit better than the other for the simple fact that it almost seemed like an agreement, and the agreement that was seemingly to be agreed upon was JD's. So my vote's going to go for JD. So that's going
All
to
right.
go 1 point, 1 point. Now it goes down to our judge, Raider
No pressure.
Nation Jason.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
this
Don't
was
let the
a.
name influence you either, brother.
I mean, hey, I keep it fair, man. I'm a Libra anyway, so you know what I mean. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it fair. But I mean, basically, you know, at the time, remember Joey Bosa when he was talking about how Derek would crumble and the pot. You know what I'm saying? When he would come around, he would just, you know, fall down and all that kind of stuff. Like, you guys both made great points. Like, this is a good question because it shows basically the sanity of Raider Nation. Like, and both of you guys agree that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, Derek was cool. Derek was probably the best quarterback we've had in a long time. But it kind of ran its course. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the way it was rushed because of the deal, like we talked about the 40 whatever million that he was owed, and they made a rush decision, and it wasn't a good decision. With I know they were chasing Brady or whatever it was at that time. That's what the rumors were, or whatever, and that fell through. So basically, Garoppolo was you know what I mean, and it was terrible. McDaniel's period was the worst thing that happened to our franchise. You know what I'm saying? And Derek, for the price, we couldn't afford him because we wouldn't been able to get anything around him. But we didn't have a plan at all. So, and I felt like Mike, you really agreed with Jake. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel you kind of lean more on JD's side. So I gotta take JD's side too.
Okay. Fair enough.
Very
You
good first one.
great points though. Great
Very.
points. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, I'm a little biased too because I felt like it was time to move on too. So
Uh,
you know what I'm saying?
all right, JD, take your mini victory lap.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to dance on the man because I have a lot of respect and he's a really good friend.
For
Sacktown
sure.
Mike, we have a lot of good discussions. We had one today on the telephone, as a matter of fact. But this question in and of itself, and everybody else is waiting to get back into the arena here, could probably agree. Just this question in and of itself 98% of what we're all going to say is probably going to be the exact same thing. There's going to be little tidbits in and out that somebody can interject to add to it. Sacktown Mike, kudos to you, brother, for bringing up the snap twig in the Colts game and how that had affected him, because it was obvious the next couple of years that he was very skittish in the pocket. A couple times he sacked himself, just like Joey Bosa said in the press conference, and we saw it. It was like he curled up in a ball, and it's like nobody's around. What are you doing? So he was a little bit skittish, and to the point as well, it wasn't just the ankle, it was also the back injury he suffered against Denver that caused him to have that skittish moment as well. If you guys remember, he broke his back getting sacked against Denver. So kudos to you, brother, for bringing that up. And I totally didn't really harp on it. That's the reason why we were moving on from him. Most of it had to do with the fact that there was money involved. Two, there was stupid people making decisions, and then there was no relevant plan whatsoever to move off from him. So that's what cost us, excuse me, as a franchise. Thank you, guys. Let's do this. Let's get back into the arena. Fight. Let's go.
Hey, I feel like to lose to Jason Downs is not a loss. I mean that at least I got a vote from the chat, so that I'm happy with. I'll take that in a heartbeat.
I voted for you too.
You guys are both winners, right?
I wouldn't mind losing to anybody in this. I mean, this is a very. I'm gonna look at this panel going. Look at Severe, look at Rebel, look at Jason, the other Jason, Tuan. I mean, you guys been in this business a lot longer than I have. So, you know, my
So
hats off to
Jason,
you guys. My hats off to all of you.
yeah, we're gonna take a couple minutes to acknowledge the chat, and then Jason, give you a couple seconds to think if you want to be the next judge or not.
I'll take the
Raider
judge.
Nation, yeah,
I'll
Raider
take the
Nation,
judge on this
Jason, you
one.
did an excellent job explaining it all and everything. So that was really dope. So
Yep.
appreciate you. You back in the arena now. We have a new judge. Okay. All right, you guys, make sure y'all hit the like button wherever you at. And then if you like go off of there and then see it again, jump on there and hit the like on that too. Man, I want to thank you guys for showing up because like I said, you guys could have been doing your own streams, all the other stuff. All you guys were just like, yeah, like it was instantly a yeah. So I really appreciate that from you guys. Okay, let's get to this next question. I'm gonna give you guys 10 minutes. You guys it's nice. Okay, all right. Let's see. Let's see right here. Let's go with this one right here. All right. Let's go to. Should we start Kirk Cousins week 1? Everybody talk about this. This is ad litem conversation, but we never know what each other's saying, but we about to find out tonight. Start Kirk Cousins week 1. So let me get the clock. Give you guys 10 minutes.
Oh, they're
All right.
chomping at the
All
bit.
right, go ahead.
I'm gonna start because I'm chomping at the bit. Kirk Cousins start week 1. I've been saying it before we even drafted Fernando. Yes, start Kirk Cousins week 1. The answer to me is it's obvious. So, oh, G fam just sent me a message. Thank you, G fam. Appreciate it, my nephew. Um, but Kirk Cousins, I mean, he's the obvious choice. Not only do the coaches think that Fernando's not ready yet, Fernando himself said he is not ready yet. He said it himself. So I mean, come on. I mean, everybody thinks, well, okay, so he's got to learn how to take a snap under center. Well, it's not that. It's his footwork after that. That's all different. It's from the shotgun, going under center, and the steps back. They have the timing to line up with the receivers and when they're going to be open. He's not ready yet, and it's taking time. Are they happy with his progress? Yes, he's happy with his progress. Is he ready yet? No. So definitely 100%, in my opinion, definitely Kirk Cousins should be the starter in week one.
So my thing with this, right? Like I see, I definitely see that point too. It's one of those ones that we look at how other teams do their first round picks and all that kind of stuff too, but our team is different. We are always different than how everyone else does everything. But how our team is built right now, we're coming off being pretty much the worst team in the NFL. So I feel like we've added so many, a center, all these different additions. Why not now? Why not throw him in the mix now? Because everybody's new here. So why not let everybody learn together? You know what I'm saying? If he's going to be the future, let's treat him like the future. And like say if something goes wrong, Kirk can come in and just keep us afloat. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like we got to see what he's made of. You know what I'm saying? The kid just won a national championship and he was a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? So like it's not like he's scared of it. You know what I'm saying? Like the kid can ball. And I mean, if he's truly not ready, I mean, I'm looking at it like somebody's making a mistake or somebody didn't do the due diligence of figuring out, okay, if he's not ready, we could have traded back. We could have did so much with, you know what I'm saying? Like if for somebody that wasn't ready, did we make the right choice at number one? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. It's I would like to see him, because I feel like that's what the
Answer that
staff's
question.
supposed to do is get him ready. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what the staff is supposed to do is put everything into him to get him ready for the season. Of course, he's not going to be ready now. You know what I mean? But get him ready. That's what they pay you guys for. And I mean, Kirk, I see that side of it too. You know what I'm saying? But it's you want to build the confidence of the kid. He's a humble kid, so he's probably not going to take it personal. And but I know, if it was me, my plan was probably to start. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to, what I mean. But if it's already predetermined, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like that. I like that if it's a fair shot of whoever, like they say, whoever's the best person, but it feels a little predetermined right now that Kirk's
Mm,
gonna, what I'm saying. So that's kind of where I feel on
Anybody
that.
else
good
want to come
point.
up on that? Because
I mean,
That was a
it
good
was.
point, Jason.
And you too, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it was predetermined because in
So
the off
your
season,
mic is low. That's why I
can
turned it
can you
up.
hear
Can
me?
you turn it up on your end?
Me? Can you hear me better?
Yeah. No, a
Hear me
little
better now?
more.
A little more?
More.
Better?
still kind of
Chad, is
low.
that better?
Still
It's
low?
still kind of low.
I
Still
can hear
kind of
him
Yeah,
low.
just
you're
fine.
low.
I got the auto adjust on. Let me see if I can
Yeah,
just
turn
turn
that
off
off and then
auto
turn it, yeah,
adjust.
because I have to turn it off. And I'll give you guys extra time.
Check, check. Better?
Hold on,
Yeah.
All
let me
right.
do it.
Use
Better?
your
Good?
outdoor voice.
Solid? Solid? Now I won't be
Yeah,
here
you
yelling.
good. No,
So
you
yeah,
good.
so
You
yeah,
good.
man. I mean, it was predetermined in the offseason, but I think it's predetermined based on the results that have been shown in the past. The guys that have sat for the most part recently, they've had gone on to have more success in the league. Whether that was Pat, you look at Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, like Brett Favre, Tom Brady is like he went through that experience himself, so he kind of knows how that helped him develop and his ability to just slow down and watch and observe and adjust to the NFL game before he was thrown out there. Mendoza came from a college system that was heavy RPO based. He didn't go from under center. It was a very simplistic read system where it was two reads and a check down. The coach himself said on national TV that's what they do: two reads and then check the ball down. And then you ask Kirk. I mean, I think at one point, just recently they asked Kirk Signetti about about Fernando Mendoza, and he said, "Oh, he talked about how he learned so many things from Fernando Mendoza." And then they asked him, "Oh, well, what was something you learned?" And he had to pause for like 5 seconds. Then he made a point because
Sorry.
Fernando Mendoza was a product of Kurt Signetti, not the opposite way around. That team had damn near just as much success the year before with Curtis Work, and they only lost 2 games that year, and they lost to the two teams that were in a national championship And that was their first year. That was Kurt Signetti's first year playing Power 5 football with a whole bunch of transfers from James Madison, which was their first year playing Power 5 football. So this second year, once they were adjusted, obviously they're a much better team. Is Fernando Mendoza a better quarterback than Curtis Ward? Yeah, I believe so. But is he ready right now to be an NFL starting quarterback? No. And you look at the amount of turnovers and inconsistent play that he's had in this training camp so far, I think that kind of shows, right? Even the stuff he can't control, which is taking the snap from center, throwing accurate passes that are on time. Really, the reason that he's had good days is been because of Malik Benson, and you can really point to the fact that our secondary depth is questionable at best. So he's been picking on, he got a guy that's an elite athlete in Malik Benson, and he's picking on some of the weaker secondary members on that second unit. So, I mean, even if it was a competition, an open competition, Kirk Cousins is handily beating him already. And the fact that the coaching staff and the GM and the pseudo vice president of football operations and Tom Brady all want him to sit, I think obviously the right decision is for him to sit.
Ready, Twan, get in there. Don't use all your bullets in this round.
You know what? I'm so glad that I'm sharing the panel with people that ain't Nando sexuals. I'm just so happy to hear that. Everybody in here is on board with Kirk Cousins being the starter of this team. Again, Nando sexuals have run wild like cockroaches. You know what I'm saying? They have been coming out of their roach motels. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that I'm at least sharing this space with people that ain't Nando sexuals. Now, in regards to Kirk Cousins, there's a whole lot of things that, we all kind of know, for those that are really diving into, what this organization is trying to do. There's some things that Kirk Cousins is doing for this team, for our future. Can I say that Mendoza is a starter? Is Mendoza the franchise guy? Absolutely. But right now we're in a position where Kirk Cousins is putting it together while Mendoza gets it together. And that's the system that we have right now. So anybody that's trying to rush this guy out there, that he has clearly said that he's not ready. He said he doesn't know the protections. You know what I'm saying? There's reports out there that he doesn't have happy feet, but his feet is getting tied up when he's dropping back. We don't need to have those issues in regards to our starting quarterback going out there, especially because we have the benefit of not only just one starter, but let's throw ALC out there as someone that can possibly hold some things together until Mendoza gets it together. So I'm all for Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in the world, but again, the purpose of Kirk Cousins is for him to keep it together while Mendoza gets it together, and that's what's cooking in regards to the Las Vegas Raiders.
So in the quick set that I'm gonna pile in here real quick, and I'll give Rebel some time. I guess you were gonna add time anyways for this, but to give a quick set, there's more to it than just Fernando and Kirk Cousins. Okay, this decision, and I agree with this decision, is. Let's say, for example, we had an incumbent head coach. Let's say Kubiak was here last year. He's the incumbent head coach. The staff is all incumbent, or at least 80% of it is. Then, yeah, I would say you should start the first pick because everything else is in place. The offense is in place. You got your offensive line already knows how to execute your offense. Your running back knows how to execute your offense. Your tight ends, your wide receivers, so on and so forth. But since it's all new to everybody, except Kirk Cousins, who's already ran this type of offense many a times, then it only makes sense to plug him in and let the other guys grow into the offensive scheme. It makes total sense to do that. And then in the meantime, and you guys are absolutely right. Fernando sexuals, whatever you want to call us, I don't give a shit, he didn't take a snap under center. Who gives a fuck? I don't. Yeah, he ran RPOs. I don't care. There's not a whole lot of kids coming out of college that are running pro-style offenses, and if they do, they're doing it on a team that's built already. So let him get his feet underneath him. We're 6 practices in. There's no reason to be hysterical and upset that, they're going to start. They should just start this guy. There's a plan in place. And if they stick to that plan and the plan works, obviously it's not so much the plan as it is the execution of that plan and the success that comes from it when you execute that plan. So if that's your plan, stick to it, run with it. Now, 3-5 games into the season, you feel like he's ready to go. The team is at a certain point altogether, and you feel like, hey, we need to get him some run so he can grow with the team. And we can now at this point we're already looking at 2027. 2026
Rebel,
is
hop in there.
just merely a wash. But if anybody else has got anything,
Rebel,
go ahead. You're at it.
Rebel, hop in there.
I mean, I don't think it's really a question if he should start. I think it's already been predetermined that he is the starter. I don't think there's a competition. I mean, it's obvious there isn't a competition. He's taking all the first team reps in practice, which says he's trying to prepare to get camaraderie with his teammates, so he's ready for day one. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Kirk Cousins at all in the preseason, and it's AOC and Mendoza most of the preseason games. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him at all. So I think it's predetermined. I don't like the predeterminedness. So do I think he should start? I think it should be a competition. Do I think it should be a competition with all of them? Yes. I feel like everybody should take first team reps and may the best man win, because I'm so sick and tired of hearing the media talk about, oh, well, the connection between Kirk Cousins and Brock Bowers is just growing, and it's magnificent. Brock Bowers makes everybody look good. He made Geno Smith look good. He made Gardner Minshew look good. He made Aiden O'Connell look good when he was out there. He makes everybody look good. Anybody can throw to Brock Bowers and look good. What connection? You can throw the ball anywhere, and he's going to go get it. So I want to see him throw the ball to Jalen Naylor. I want to see him throw the ball to Malik Benson. I want to see Michael Mayer, somebody else do something with Kirk Cousins. All I've heard is Kirk Cousins and Brock Bowers, and I feel like they're just trying to make Brock Bowers look good, constantly throw, or make Kirk Cousins look good, constantly throwing to Brock Bowers. So, I'm tired of these guys just getting handed jobs. You see how slow he is, which, that doesn't matter if our offensive line is good. But I feel like there should be a competition with all these guys. You drafted a guy number one overall. You got Carson Beck that just, played 3/4 of a preseason game yesterday, and obviously he's ready to go. He was a 3rd-round pick, the guy that was facing Fernando Mendoza, and was probably a foot away from winning that game if he'd just put a little bit under it. Kind of like the pass that, almost got intercepted last night. He just got to put a little under it. So if Carson Beck is ready and our first overall pick is not ready to compete with a 39-year-old man in Kirk Cousins that is running probably a 5.2 40 and can get outran by, offensive linemen at this point, I think that's a bad look for us. The only way he's carving it up that we've heard has been in the red zone. I mean, come on, you're in the red zone, you're throwing to Brock Bowers. And if Brock Bowers is doubled, you're throwing to Jalen Naylor and Trey Tucker, or Genty out of the backfield. So I feel like there should be a competition. They told us there was going to be a competition. The best man would play, and we haven't seen anybody take first team reps but Kirk Cousins. And I just don't feel like this team is prepared to go out there and have something happen to Kirk Cousins, and nobody else is taking first team reps. And then what? You scrap the whole playbook. You go with 60% or 30% of our playbook and play Mendoza and put Malik Benson in as a starter. Like, what is the plan here? So I guess start Kirk Cousins, but I want to see a carpet. I guess no, because I want to see a competition. I want to see everybody taking first team reps. I want to hear how Mendoza looks throwing to Brock Bowers, right? And AOC and even Jacob Clark, right? Because it just doesn't make sense that you constantly bring in a coach and he has his guy. You brought in Josh McDaniels, he got rid of DC for Stidham. He brings in his guy Jimmy Garoppolo. Then you have the general manager come in, and Tom Telesco, and he brings in his guy and Gardner Minshew, and then you have Pete Carroll, and he brings in his guy, Geno Smith, and now you have the same thing. There's no competition, but they're constantly telling us every single day on the platform to our face that there's a competition at every single position, but nobody's taking first team reps.
Right time. Woohoo. Okay. That was
Can I rebut that for just a second?
Oh, no. Okay, hold on, chat. Tell me who you guys want to see in it, and then you can go ahead and give me. Yeah, go ahead. I want to see
I
what
got
the
my
chat
idea.
say.
We'll wait and see what the chat says for that. I got my ideas.
Chat. Who do you say, chat? Let's see. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna take you guys' opinion on this one. I think I know who I want to see on this one, though. Yeah, let's see. I better hurry up. Thank you. What's all is well over here? Thank you. Yeah, okay. I know who, forget it. I know who it is. Oh, hold on, let me go
Ice
back.
Cube should buy the Raiders.
Can I say who I want, or does it matter? Doesn't matter.
Nah, cause
Doesn't matter. Okay.
nah,
It's
cause
not me. I'm not saying it's me.
My flight.
cause
Where's my flight boarding to?
I'm gonna go
I'm
with
taking
Raider
off.
Twine with the Nando sexual, and I'm gonna go with Raider Nation Jason for his strong take. Like right now, what like we got the number one pick and all the trimmings. Why are we holding back? I think that's what most of the nation want to know. And so I'm gonna go with them to let me see. Let me come on. Okay, I see how this works. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go with them too. And so then by default, the next round will be Severe and Rebel. I got a question for y'all too. Like Mr. Miyagi. So next round for sure. Definitely will be that. And then we'll have one more round because of what happened today. So y'all start thinking about that. So, all right. I'm gonna drop you guys down for a little bit. We're gonna get into it. Y'all remember the rules. It's 2 minutes. Yeah, your opening statement is 2 minutes. Um, Judge JD. You gotta have a JD to be a judge. I like that. So you can choose who you would like to start, and then I'll let them know when they can go. Who you choosing to go first?
Let's go. Let's go, Jason. Let's
Okay,
throw him
Jason,
up
you'll
there.
go first, and
He should
then
be.
in
He
the
should be
in
warmed
the
up.
cross, and then in the cross, you will go first, Twan. When the cross start, you will go first. Okay. All right. Raider Nation, Jason, you have 2 minutes for your opening arguments. Start now.
All right. We don't know how to have nice things, right? You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time since we've had, we're letting the Jamarcus Russell fiasco take over right now. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened to Tom Brady, that sucks. He had to wait till Drew Bledsoe got hurt to get in. Okay, damn, that sucks. But it worked out for you. But Fernando is not you. You know what I'm saying? Like you were you know what I'm saying? Like Mr. You know what I'm saying? You were a late pick. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a whole different thing. Like how we did this draft like was crazy because I feel like if he's not starting, like if he's not ready, then I feel like that's on the coaches for not putting the time in to get him ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel the only reason Kirk should really be in is if injury happens and somebody has to step in so we just don't lose it all. We could stay afloat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just feel like if he wasn't ready, why did we draft him then? You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't get. Because I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like in any other situation, he would start. But in our situation, you know what I mean? Because I mean, my thing is, are we making the playoffs this year? Like, is our team a playoff team? Because I can understand that. Like, if Kirk Cousins, we could plug Kirk in and then, still make the playoffs. But I mean, bro, like we were the worst team in the league last year. So I mean, everything we add is building to what we're trying to do in the future. So I mean, what is Kirk going to give us the last hurrah before Mendoza starts his? You know what I'm saying? Like I
10
don't
seconds.
I don't get that part of it because I mean, Kirk should be there to teach and to be like another QB coach. You know what I'm saying? To show him this is what you see here, this is what you do here. Get him ready. You know what I
Time.
mean?
Well,
All right. Strong open. Hold on, brother. Let me get your clock ready. Strong first. Twine ready, boy. Like a pit bull vicious. Strong first. Hold on, I gotta get the clock ready for you. Yeah, you definitely are a Watt Waller.
The chain like
Yeah, so no, strong opening statements. All right, Twine, Raider Twine, you have 2 minutes. It starts now.
Let me say this. Let me say this first. That Jason, this is not anything towards you. This is more towards the nandosexuals, and I know that you are not a part of the nandosexual community. But I do have to say that in regards to Kirk Cousins, I think that's exactly what Kirk Cousins is doing. Kirk Cousins is being that leader. Kirk Cousins is teaching this young quarterback what he's supposed to do. Imagine this scenario of having a young quarterback going out there to be the starter of this team and still be trying to teach the linebackers what they're supposed to do and teach the wide receivers where they're supposed to be in certain coverages. And then also, let's not forget what that young quarterback has to do in orchestrating the front line, which is the offensive line. And we know that everything starts with the trenches. So if we have this young quarterback that's still trying to figure out who he is in the NFL and then trying to establish the foundation of an offense, I think that's not beneficial to what we're trying to do here, especially if we have someone that is a veteran that can take care of that stuff. Yeah, I understand the frustrations of him being the number one overall, and this is the same thing that I said in regards to all the nandosexuals out there. If you are under the belief that if we draft a player underall and he is the one that has to start, no ifs, ands, or buts, then we're in a situation where you have to say that our organization did not draft or shouldn't have drafted Mendoza first overall. So that's where the situation is. And then again, like I said in my other statement, there's other reports out there that he's not doing what he needs to do to get this offense down. So we have someone that's struggling to get the offense together, and we want this guy to prance his way out there and act like everything's going to be successful when this is the first year and the install of everything we're trying to do. Yeah, I think we're in trouble.
Okay. Nice opening statements. We're gonna go to the 10-minute across the rules. You will be starting Twine, and you can either make a statement. If you do, if you can ask a question. If you ask the questions, allow him to answer the question. He does have 30 seconds to make a point. If you guys feel like you don't feel like hearing all them other points they making, you may jump in there. But I do like the way you guys been respecting each other's time. So let's find that fine line in there. So 10 minutes. Twine, you are first with the opening. Your
So
time your time starts in a second. Now,
So my question to you, with all the factors that are involved, and let me just give you the factors just in case for those that are listening. Um, he has said publicly that he's nowhere close to where he needs to be. He's also addressed that he's not fully aware or fully in control or knowing all the protections for the offensive line up front. And then even on top of that, one of the biggest issues was because we're in the West Coast offense, his footwork has been a trouble in camp. Even further than that, before we started camp, he was taking snaps in the hotel room. Why? Because he wasn't too comfortable with getting the snap from under center. So with all those factors involved, are we still comfortable with this guy being an option week one? And where the second question to that is how would that how would this just the preseason alone help him get up to speed?
you're muted.
For your first question, I would say I don't know. I feel like if they're shying away from him, I feel like they're hiding something. So I want to see. Automatically, I gotta see. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see if we throw him in the fire, how will he come out? You know what I'm saying? And like right now is the best time. Like you got Mahomes not at his best. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the ACL. Like you got Herbert coming off an injury. You got Bo Nix coming off an injury. So like right now is kind of a perfect time to kind of cruise until everybody gets right next year. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, if anything, this is the perfect year. Cause I mean, the reason why it shouldn't matter so much is that we're putting pressures on playoffs. Like in the back of our minds, people are playing 10, we're gonna get to the playoffs, but we got to realize where we are and what we have. Like we have to build his confidence. We got to get him ready. Like, yeah, he might not be ready right now. But I mean, if he's our future quarterback, I mean, how is not getting him time with the ones helping him? Putting him with like I remember we talked about this, Rebel and Chris. We talked about putting him with the threes. I'm like, how does that help him? And I get it, the time and all that kind of stuff, but he's playing with people that probably won't even make the team. You know what I'm saying? So like, why are you not putting him with the people that are actually on the team and seeing if he can stay with it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. Like when I was a kid, when we used to play basketball, I don't get better by playing the younger kids down, at the school. I play the old, what I mean? You playing the older kids, the grown-ups, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you get better. You know what I mean? It's gonna be rougher, it's gonna be tougher, but I mean, you get better. You know what I'm saying? You learn from the pros, you know what I'm saying? Like I get I like, and it's not that I'm blind and I don't see why Kirk is starting, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, for 1.3 or whatever we're paying him, it's a win-win regardless, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like I would like to put more emphasis, like at the worst case, where he's splitting with the ones. You know what I'm saying? Like getting Kirk. Because what if Kirk goes down week 1? Like AOC got put in the game like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't ready and all that. I'm pretty sure he wasn't ready, but he got through into a situation and didn't do too bad. You know what I'm saying? Came out okay. So, you know what I mean? I believe that Mendoza could probably do the same. I mean, it's the best year to kind of really do it. Like I said, everybody's injured around recovering. We're the healthiest there is. You know what I'm saying? So there is. You know what I'm saying? So.
Twine.
Yeah. I can. Okay.
Yeah, you can stop him at any time, really,
Okay.
after 30 seconds or 1 point.
Okay, well, and I still disagree with that because again, we're trying to establish this offense, especially on I could say the entire team, but we're talking more specifically offensively, and having a young quarterback out there that is having troubles, and we're trying to establish what we're trying to do offensively with our ones. You need to have the person that's going to be some stability there. We have a head coach, and he's the in facto offensive coordinator, but having Kirk Cousins there, it kind of frees up, I'm saying, Clint Kubiak from some of his duties and actually allowing for him to be a head coach. I think we're missing the fact that everybody on this team has to get this offense, I'm saying, that is on the offensive side. And if Mendoza is can't get the 101 of how to be a quarterback, effectively getting the snap under center and getting the 3-step, the 5-step, and the 7-step down lock, then why are we wasting his time? Why are we wasting the other players' time when Mendoza needs to get that together? Like, it would be, it's nice and lovely to say, oh yeah, we saw him play with the ones, and oh yeah, we got to see all that, but then that's also exposing him to things that he may not necessarily be fully ready for. And those are the things that they're trying to hold him to and hide from again, the mass media and things. I mean, we can get a little information on here and there, or how he did this, but then he bounced back, and et cetera, et cetera. But again, the whole reason why we brought in Kirk Cousins is because it goes back to what we had with Derek Carr, where we had a starting quarterback, but we didn't have anybody behind him as an incumbent. Well, guess what? We just hyperspeed that with Kirk Cousins being here as our starter, and then allowing our incumbent to be ready whenever that time is. And I'm glad that we're in a position where we don't have to rush that. But not just going to throw this rookie out there that can't get the basics down. I ain't even talk about him reading defenses yet. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even talked about that aspect of things. And we know that college football is way different from NFL. And anybody that tells you different, I don't know what kind of ball they're playing, you know what I'm saying, or looking at. So that's why Kirk Cousins needs to be the starter. And I don't see myself moving from that, you know what I'm saying, especially with all the reports that are coming about Mendoza, but even the reports that he's saying about himself. And people are so oblivious to that fact that he's telling you that he's not ready, but we still want to throw him out there.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this team's gonna run the ball like a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like because if say we didn't have a running game, and you know what I'm saying, it would have been a little bit different than throwing them. You know, because I mean, basically, if he can just, if we could, if it depends if we can run the ball well, and then like the O line, it all ties into that. If everything is good with the running game, he doesn't have to throw that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we can kind of ease. That's how we'll ease him into it, like getting the running game going, where he's not throwing 35, 40 times a game. You know what I'm saying? We can get him just slowly. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't get where the pressure's coming in. Like, he's done this. You know what I'm saying? He's played football his whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the only people
So
that.
Jason,
What's up?
Which week do you bring in Mendoza if Kirk Cousins start?
I mean, it's crazy because I like Kirk. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like when we do the vet thing. I really most of the time, but for the price, we can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I would say week. To be honest, to be fair, because I was gonna say week 3, but to be fair, I would like to see what maybe 5 or 6 games look like. You know what I mean? And if we're just going like 1-6, 1-5, or something like that, I mean, we could do that with Mendoza, and then he needs to learn anyway for the next year, because that's my thing. Like, he's missing time with the new center. They should be getting their calls and everything together. You know what I'm saying? Like, learning from each other. If they're going to be the future together, they need to learn together. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Kirk needs to show him, but he can talk to him too and guide him through this stuff. Like, he doesn't have to, because I mean, I'm the type of person I could sit on the sideline and watch, all damn day. But until I get in there and I start making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to get better. I'm going to just be itching to get in there and see, oh, look, I can do it. But until I get in there and make mistakes and get, just go through it and physically get my hands on stuff, I am not going to get better. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. Raider Twine, I'll give you time to answer this question. Are the Raiders taking away development time from Mendoza?
Oh, yeah. Repeat the question again.
Is starting Kirk Cousins taking away vital developmental time from Mendoza?
Not at all. Not at all.
Why not?
Because I feel like he's still going to get his reps. What do we see Kirk Cousins playing in preseason? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, it bare minimum. So he's getting his opportunities. But again, when you're trying to establish the foundation of this offense, you can't have someone out there that does not know what they're doing. And it's not oh, let's just grow together and everything's going to be kumbaya. Like, no, even with the and this is what Jason said is, oh yeah, it depends on if we run the ball. Yeah, we can run the ball, and yes, I believe in Genty, but what's the best friend to the run game? Play action. And what does it require for someone to do with play action? It takes for them to take the ball under center, which is something that Mendoza's struggling with, and then also do the proper steps backwards in play action. So if you're asking for him to do those things and he's not consistently getting it done, then you can't put him out there. You're really hurting yourself. And again, I'm glad that they're
okay, cool. Save it for the closing arguments, which you can go first,
No, I got
or
more.
you got 3 minutes for your closing arguments. You guys get ready in the chats and see who you're gonna vote for. Um, you have 3 minutes with your closing arguments, Ritter Twine, and it starts now.
I believe that Mendoza is the future of this team. I like Mendoza. I believe that he is a better talented quarterback than someone like an AOC. But at this point of his career, he's not ready to be out there week one, especially where we are as a team. Again, this is a teaching moment for all parties involved. And if you can have someone out there that can help teach and bring everything together, then let's use that to our benefit. And again, it has been reported, it has been seconded, it has been third. You know what I'm saying? I can keep going on and on. And I wish I could take a whole live on the reason why Mendoza is not completely ready to go week one. Now, can down the line of the year, can Mendoza, get it together and show what needs to be done during practice in order for him to get out there? Absolutely. Is it going to take preseason for him to throw a whole bunch of touchdowns and he's going to get out there? I don't think that's the case. So with that being said, I'm on board with Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying that he's going to be the savior of this team. I'm not saying that he's going to lead us all the way to the Super Bowl. But what he is going to do is bring some stability of the quarterback position, and that's what we need. He can't be on the bench and do that for us. I don't see him being an effective teacher, because one of the learning things that you can do, and one of the best learning examples, is to see it physically done. You know what I'm saying? To see an example on how to do it and how to execute. And even Mendoza has said it, how, what's helping him try to get the playbook is how Kirk Cousins has compartmentalized the playbook in his efforts. So there's things that
1
Kirk
minute.
Cousins is teaching the quarterback, and that's exactly what needs to be done. And again, just because we got something brand new doesn't mean that we need to rip it out the plastic immediately. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the struggles that we've had with a lot of the quarterbacks in the league. Go look at the records of the quarterbacks that got ripped out of the plastic and were starters immediately. You'll realize that it was a losing situation.
You can see your time.
Oh no! Do I got more time?
Yes, 24 seconds.
Oh, and let's start looking at all the rooms in our team and see if they're completely ready for a young quarterback to get under center. Are we really trusting our offensive line? Do we really have wide receivers that can
10
actually
seconds.
catch the ball and be ready to go? There's a lot of concerns offensively that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but those are the things. Another reason why, again, we need to figure out who Kubiak wants and then move forward with our new toy.
Okay. All right. Let's get ready. Raider Nation, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Man,
3 minutes, and it starts now.
I definitely, I'm gonna start by saying I definitely respect, what you said. Definitely, I can, like I said, I don't dislike Kirk. Actually like Kirk. I was excited when we got him. My thing kind of just was, I felt like I said, it was kind of a little predetermined, and I feel like when we signed him, it was around the time of after his pro day or whatever. As soon as he had his pro day, then bam, we signed Kirk Cousins. And that kind of was a red flag to me then, you know what I'm saying? Because it felt like, because, I don't like the way the Vegas media spins everything and tries to tell us that everything is rainbows and flat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. So I don't listen to a lot of the stuff of what comes out. Like they're saying that this or that, this person looks good, or Kirk's, take, like someone said it earlier with the Kirk to Brock Bowers, like, oh, they look good. The connection, of course, it's Brock Bowers. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna make anybody look, So that's what I'm saying. I don't feed too much into that. So like I in the position that Mendoza's in, he's early into this NFL career. So of course there's a lot he doesn't know. And like I said, I like Kirk. Kirk brings good veteran leadership to the room. So I'm not mad. It was just when we got to the talks about Mendoza should be third string quarterback when it all comes down. I just didn't like that part because I'm like, what are we doing? What did we do with our first round pick that now he's the third string? Like we could have, if that was the case, someone didn't scout, someone didn't do their scouting duties. You know what I'm saying? Because this should have been talked about before they drafted him. If he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that, and they didn't
Maybe
think,
they didn't have an option.
yeah, no, but I'm saying if they didn't think that they were going to be able to
1 minute.
get all that in order, then somebody did a bad job of putting this thing together because that's a waste of a year. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of goes to what I was saying about the draft. Like we got a lot of fill in pieces. You know what I mean? Or like a lot of plug in players, but we didn't get starters. We didn't get official, studs. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like it just makes me question what was the point of it? You know what I'm saying? Because remember, this was the plan before we even got Kirk. Or no, sorry, excuse me. That was after the pro day we got Kirk. But I don't know. My thing is, if Kirk goes in, right, Kirk wins 3 games.
10
How how
seconds.
how are we feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we feel that was the best decision, or
5 seconds.
should we put more time into Mendoza?
Time. All right, fellas. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right, chat. I need to know from you guys, who do you think won that debate? Good debate. Good debate. Who do you guys put? Put RNJ in the chat for Raider Nation Jason, and put T in the chat for Twine. I'm looking for RNJs and T's. RNJs and T's. That one was kind of tough. So let me ask a question. Very good question that was asked from you guys while we do that. Very good question by G Fam. The question should have been, well, a good question to add on is, who start? No, if they who's going to play the most games, Kirk or Mendoza this year? Who's going to play more games? And you go first, Raider Nation, Jason.
I mean,
and what's the number? And what's the number?
I'm gonna say 6 for Kirk, and I'm gonna say maybe 2 for this is for Rebel, 2 for AOC, and then the rest for Mendoza.
All right, Twan, same question.
I believe Kirk Cousins is going to play the most games. If there is a situation, it will probably be later in the season. It might be the change of guard at the bye week because we do have a later bye. I think that might be a ideal situation. If they do decide to go that way, but I'm really believing that Kirk Cousins is going to play more games than Mendoza this season. Barring injury. And I think that and just even further, I think the process is Kirk Cousins starting, and then AOC is the backup. So it might be a situation where Mendoza doesn't even play this year, just depending on injuries.
Okay, all right, you guys have it. I'm waiting for the chat to tell me who you guys got. If
G Fam.
If
Well,
the
the
chat don't give
question
me any
is
answers,
too.
I'm gonna go to the guy. Hold on. I'm gonna
Can
go to
I?
the guys in
Can
the
I?
back. But what's up?
Sorry.
Can I interject something?
If it's gonna spark more debate, then no.
No, it's not going to spark no more debate. I'm just okay. Never mind. I won't say that.
Yeah, because we're at the verdict now. We're at the verdict at this point. Who do you guys got? Raider Nation Jason. Somebody got peeled off. Raider Nation Jason or Raider Twine? I'm going to let you go first, JD, with your verdict.
Okay, so my verdict: both guys, absolutely excellent job in bringing your points and counterpoints. Much respect to both of you guys, man. I subscribe to both of your guys' channels. Respect both of you. There's takes, there's pluses and there's minuses. I think the biggest thing is we're hung up as a fan per se of wanting instant gratification with the number one pick. But sometimes as a fan, we got to kind of put that in our back pocket and just let the process play out. Um, but to Raider Jason's point is that you drafted him for a reason, and to bring him up and just put him in, it makes that it seems logical. But also at the same time, to Twan's point, and I'm going to hang my hat on Twan. This is where my vote's going. Sorry, Jay. Is the fact that there's 10 other guys on that team that need to be brought up to speed as well. And to have the guy that's a senior, that's a captain, has been a captain before, has run this offense numerous times and has tons of success with this offense, it only makes sense. Now, whether or not he's trash or garbage or whatever, proof is in the pudding that Kirk Cousins has produced running this offense. And it only makes sense. Now, what both of you guys need to realize, and nobody hit this point, is we're in week 2 of preseason. Things can change. Things can change. So don't get too wrapped up on today, because today's prices are not tomorrow's prices. Okay, so tomorrow's prices might be better than today's prices. So don't get hung up on that. Don't lose sleep over it. But at the same time, whoever we march out that first week, and I'll be in Vegas that day watching it, whoever they march out, I just want to be successful. I don't care if they bring SpongeBob out of the stands to play quarterback the first week. Just as long as it's for the purpose of building this team and do it the right way. And when I say that, team, it's not, I want to develop a quarterback. I want to make this number one pick. He's the number one pick. We got to do that. No. If it means taking your time and kissing the woman slowly on the neck, then that's what we're going to have to do. Okay? Let's not rush into it. But for the most part, I got to agree with GFR on this one, man. Twan dropped the mic and turned off the camera and walked away. So I'm going to go Twan.
Nice. For sure.
No disrespect to you, Jason. Your points are absolutely valid.
No.
Not at all.
No, agreed.
Okay, chat. We need you to vote, chat. Chat, we need you to vote. Raider Nation Jason or T for Twine. RNJ or T for Twine. RNJ or T for Twine. Yeah, I think both of them definitely stood firm on their points.
Yeah.
Definitely, I can definitely see both points of the Raider Nation. And for me, although I'm pro Kirk Cousins and believe he should start, and I think the fan base is a little delusional about how they're going about it. The point that you did make is that everybody's young, and we got this center, and maybe we can put him out there. It's just tough. It's tough, and I'm gonna go with Jason on this one. And I'm gonna let the chat decide. That's my way. That's my way of weaseling out right there. But no, but I really do like I like your points because it's hard to refute those things that you're saying. So other than the delusion, that's the only thing I can really not from what you're saying, but I'm just saying like people on the extreme of saying we should just start him just because, and you brought more points than that, so that's why I'm gonna give you my vote on that.
Hey, can I say one little thing before we go to the chat?
For
It's
sure.
not going to raise question to what either one of them said.
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to say, Black, do you want them to vote on the person that agrees what they think, or do you want them to vote
Bro,
for
I
the
don't care
person
how they vote,
that?
just vote. I don't care how
Right.
they vote,
I
just
didn't
vote.
finish yet. I didn't finish yet. Or do you want them to vote on who thought brought the best points up.
Okay, I don't care how they vote. They can vote however they choose to
Okay,
because
that's what I
hold on,
was
let me
curious.
say this. Because even if I say vote for, because for me it's the person who won the debate, right? For me,
Hmm.
because if I was going to vote for who I wanted to vote, I would have voted for Twan. But I'm voting on who debated the best, you know. So who?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, but I can't tell the chat how to vote really. But I would hope for that they will vote according to who won the debate.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, let's go to the chat. It looks like it's tough. It's going to be. Let me see. Start making it more difficult. Raider Twan. Let me see. My vote is for Candy. Ready Nation Jason. T. Uh, T for Twan. I see T for Twan. I think I'm gonna go. I think the chat has decided to go. Let's see. Any late votes? I think the chat gonna go with Raider Twan. So I think Raider Twan narrowly skins this one out. So congratulations for the next one. And the next round will automatically be um, Severe and Rebel. But Raider Twine, hey, good debate, Jason, for sure.
Yes, sir.
No, I also want to say good debate to Jason again. You already know it's all love, you know what I'm saying, and again, I'm just strong on Kirk Cousins setting the foundation for our future. You know what I'm saying? I believe again. I love what we're trying to do with Mendoza. And, I think the idea of having him is for the long haul. So, however long it takes for him to get it, get it all the way down. I'm for it because I don't want to go through this process again. If you guys have watched, my video of are you a Nando sexual? I'm saying one of the biggest things that I said was I was frustrated and displeased with some people that call themselves Raiders fans that was dancing and twerking for us to tank. And again, a team that says just win, baby, is accepting that. So I wasn't happy with that, and I don't want. I wanted that to be the first time, and I wanted that to be the last time that we ever went into that situation where, again, some people within Raider Nation felt like it was okay for us to tank. And again, for my opinion, and again, my Raider gospel, there's no tanking in Raider Nation. You know what I'm saying? So, let's continue to see how these guys get out there. And again, like Kirk Cousins said, let the best quarterback win.
Right. Okay. Let's bring all the guys back on the panel. Let's get back to it. All right. Let's get back to the round table. We already know who's going to be in the final round, but you guys can discuss this. What the heck is going on? All right. The next question for you guys is, was Ashton Genty the right pick at number 6? Was Ashton Genty the right pick at number 6?
I saw that red hat pop off his head already, man.
This is a setup. This is a setup.
Is this a question or is this a statement?
This cannot be a serious question.
So here we go with
I like it.
All right, everybody stand back. Let Severe do his thing.
No. This is the round table. Everybody can have their discussions about this, but I will suggest that Severe and Rebel, choose their shots wisely in this round. And also, Twan, do you choose to be the judge or not?
Yeah.
So we're competing and we haven't even got to go yet?
No. This is
Nah,
where
I'm gonna let you
everybody
go
get to
first,
give
bro.
their
I'm gonna let you go first.
everybody.
I
No,
don't,
hold on, hold on,
Watch,
hold on,
I'm gonna
hold
let
watch
you
on.
go
this.
first.
This is
Watch
the
this. Watch this.
this is the round table. So
I don't know how
I'm
this
sure
works.
the
I
other
don't know.
guys want to give their opinions too. You
I
guys don't
think the
have to
rules.
necessarily partake in this or whatever or what, however you choose it, but
I
you
don't gotta
guys
say a
will
motherfucking
debate
word,
each
bro.
other.
I don't
Say,
gotta say
say that
shit.
again.
I don't gotta say a motherfucking word, bro. I don't gotta say shit. Like, I don't gotta say nothing. A motherfucking thing.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, Black. I'll be the judge, but I thought they was gonna go on to Mendoza and Kirk Cousins, but yeah, let's go ahead
Mendoza and
and
Kirk Cousins. No, it would have been AOC question for a Rebel, but I want to.
Shit, I
I don't
started
want
okay.
AOC
necessarily.
over Mendoza. Shit, at this point, so it would have been perfect agreement there.
Huh. Okay, let's go. General, this is the round table for all you guys. 8 minutes start now.
Let y'all
Anyone
go.
can
Y'all
go.
go. Y'all. I'm assuming everybody in here is Aston Genty fan except me.
Oh
So
wow.
if we want to do a
Hold on,
modified
hold on,
debate
hold
and
on.
let everybody join in against me, we can do that
Uh
too. I'm good
oh.
either way,
Right.
bro. I hold my
Uh
own.
oh.
We
Was
can go
Genty the
fucking.
right pick at number 6? No.
Okay, so me and JD on the same page then. Okay, so shit,
But
I'm
since he
good.
is on our team, and I agree with Severe, and you said it in your past episodes, and I actually gave you an amen on that one. Is he a great quarterback? No. Or a great running back? No. Could he be a good running back? Somebody that's serviceable that can help us be competitive? Yeah. He's gonna have his moments, but he's not gonna lock up ESPN anytime soon with the dun 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 dun. Ain't none of that shit happening. Okay. But I mean, granted, I like what he did at Boise State, but that was Boise State. Okay, we saw what he did at Penn State and what happened against Penn State in the playoffs, and no fault of his own, shitty offensive line. Well, guess what? First year in the NFL, shitty line. So it was just wash, lather, repeat for him. He just changed uniforms. That's all that happened. I would have preferred to see a little bit of him in the SEC doing that kind of shit. And then I would say, okay, let it be. But for the most part, there were spots last year where he looked good, okay? But spots ain't going to do shit for us. We need more than spots. We need week in, week out, tote that rock 80 to 120 at any given time, and effective 80 to 120 at any given time. Not just putting numbers up so their fantasy football leagues look good. You can still be an effective running back, get 80 yards, 85 yards rushing in a game. Okay, I mean, Bo Jackson's first game against the Broncos everybody was, oh, whoa. He only had 87 yards rushing, and one of them was on a long run that he plowed through everybody. So, I mean, it happens. I'm not Severe. God damn it. I'm not comparing him to Bo Jackson. Don't even start that shit.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
But
some people
does
will,
Genty
though.
have
That's
the
thing.
ability
People
to
will.
give us RB1 type of production? We'll see. But we all know that offensive line is going to have to come around. And the part that a lot of people miss is probably the best pickup that we had this year in the offseason was Rick Dennison. And proof is in the pudding with Rick Dennison. He could take an undrafted free agent out of Tennessee and make him the bomb with the Houston Texans. So he has the ability to do it, and he's done it several times, not just with one or two. Everywhere he goes, he solidifies the run game with how he coaches his offensive line, and that's, of all things that I've heard in preseason this year, is the offensive line is getting coached. Okay, so the offensive line coach is coaching the guys. So just that fact in and of itself is going to make it that much better. So we'll go from the 34th best offensive line to at least the 20th best offensive line just with the coach. Now throw in a Linderbaum there, solidifying our guards with some upgrade, with our developmental guys that step up their game. Who knows? We could probably get up into that top 15 on an offensive line, which in turn is going to give Genty some yards. That's my take. But as far as picking Genty at number 6, no, I don't think that was the right pick. I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna keep it short, a little shorter though. But I don't think Gentile is the right pick at 6, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. I'm gonna say, we could have, picked up an offensive lineman at 6, and we would have been a lot better off for it. And we could have gotten Jeremiah. We could have traded back, not got Mendoza this year. Traded back, and got Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, who's way better than Genty. And
all the wisdom on this side of the screen. All the wisdom over here. All the wisdom. You see that? You see those grays? That's wisdom. You better listen to these men. No, they know what they talking about. Was it a mistake to take Ashton Genty at 6? Does a bear shit in the woods?
Sometimes.
Bear shits in the woods. You know what he wipes his ass off with? A rabbit. So that's how it works.
Let me jump in and say this. I really don't want to get into the debate because this is my time to be the judge. But whoever thinks that Genty is anything close to Bo Jackson, that's diabolical. That's all I
wasn't comparing him. I was only saying
I'm just saying
Bo's first game was only 80 yards.
I'm just saying whoever believes that, I don't think there's anybody on the panel that believes that, but whoever's listening to this, if you believe that Ashton Genty is Bo Jackson or even close to comparison to Bo Jackson, that's diabolical.
Yeah.
Don't
take what I said as a comparison either.
Yeah. And look, and he said,
hold on, Sabir. Jason, you what you thinking?
I mean, it was early at 6. You know what I mean? But
everybody think that.
Well, I mean, to be honest, because especially when you look at how everything shook out in the draft, and I would have went because look how the line shook out. We could have definitely used the lineman better. You know what I'm saying? And that like a tackle in that spot. You know what I mean? Rather than hopefully we'll see what it looks like in this. With Dennison and all this, see if that'll even matter. And then if he gets better, then cool. You know what I mean? But as far as 6, that is a little early. You know what I mean? But I mean, Brock. Look at Brock at whatever we get 13 or whatever we got him. That was supposed to be early. You know what I mean? And he ended up being our
Brock late.
Top.
Brock late. People thought the Chargers was gonna take Brock instead of Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Only thing what dropped Brock was he was hurt. He didn't go through the off season stuff because he didn't run at the combine. He didn't do anything at his pro day. Because people swore up and down that he was gonna go to the Chargers. When the Chargers elected to go alt, he kind of fell to us. People didn't think we'd take him because we just drafted Mayer the year before, so they assumed we'd go Fuaga or go another offensive lineman. But I mean, drafting Genty at 6, it was a
I wanted Fuaga myself.
It was complete. I mean, Brock after his first year was a lot of people said he's already the best tight end in the league, right? Top 3 at the very least. Ain't nobody saying that shit about Genty. So, I mean,
okay.
Ain't a motherfucker.
And that's 13-6.
Yeah.
So Rebel,
that's 13-6.
So Rebel, let me make sure. So do you think Genty was a good pick at 6?
So I think he was a good pick or the right pick? What's the original question? Is it a good pick or the right pick?
The right pick.
The right pick?
Okay. I mean, let's.
With no quarterback.
Understand what I'm saying, but if y'all want to split that hair, cool. Let's just say the right pick.
I say good pick or good picks. I think he was about to. If you say right pick, I think he might change the answer. So was Genty a good pick in isolation?
I mean, in isolation, was it a good pick at the time? No, but if you look at if they were, because we don't know in the building, right?
Thank you guys.
He already won. We don't know in the building what they were thinking, right? If they already had a plan for the future of bringing in Pete Carroll with Ashton Genty and then, moving on, because obviously Pete Carroll wasn't the future. He was only going to be there for 1 year. That's what everybody, suspected. So if the plan was to go out and get a new coach and build for the future, you already have your tight end, right? You already have, second and third round picks. You already have your left tackle. You needed a quarterback. So if the plan was to get Ashton Genty and then get your quarterback this year and the tank, then yes, then yeah, it was absolutely a good pick. But with the coaching staff we have now, I think, and Rick Dennison in the building, I feel like whether it was a good pick or not at the time, I feel like it's going to turn out to be a good pick, right? Mike Washington in the building, he's going to take some reps away from him. It's a different 1-2 punch. Aston Genty won't have to carry the load. To have to get a right tackle that can block in the run game, I think that's that's going to be a big part of it. You can only run to one side, seems the left side, because Colton Miller's damn good at blocking or run, I guess, behind Tyler Linderbaum. So, was it the right pick for the position we were in at 6? No, because you had Marvin Mimbu there, you had receivers there. I mean, you could have went a bunch of different ways. So, was it the right pick? No, but was it a good pick? I feel like Ashton Genty will be a good pick for the future. I really feel like he's a 1,200 plus yard per season with another 400 or 500 yards out of the backfield, maybe even 6 in his Kubiak system, right? He can catch out of the backfield, he can make plays. There's all kinds of noise in camp talking about, he looks totally different than last year. He said it himself. He was a rookie on a bad coach team, and I feel like we have to give him, not a pass, but see what he is this year. And if he comes out and he's asked this year and has less than 1,000 yards, then yeah, it's it's time to have that conversation. But I really feel like it's really hard to judge anybody on this team, and I keep saying that last year because of the coaching staff, the 2 offensive coordinators, the the family running things, not only the offensive line, but he's the run game coordinator as well. So when you look at who was the run game coordinator,
okay,
you know what I mean?
okay. I got you. Good point. So let me ask you this, Severe. Should the Raiders trade AOC?
Should they trade Aiden O'Connell?
Yes.
They won't get the same value that Aiden O'Connell offers as a backup quarterback in a trade. Like, they probably won't get anything more. Like, they probably won't get anything. To be honest with you, maybe like a switch in draft positions in a different round, like in a 6 or 7. But they're not going to get anything for a guy that's obviously going to be the backup, and likely with the Raiders' plans, like a third stringer.
So should they trade him though?
Why would
yes
they?
or no?
No. Why
So you
would
say
they
no.
get value?
Okay.
He's more
All
valuable
right.
on the team than he is as the draft pick.
Agreed.
That they get.
Do you think Aiden O'Connell's got a fair shot with the Raiders?
I think he's got a fair shot with the Raiders.
Yeah.
As a
He
backup.
started with 17 games.
No, I mean up into this point in his career.
Oh, has he got a fair shot?
Yeah, I'm
fair
asking.
shot.
I'm asking Severe.
He's been involved in 2 quarterback competitions. He's lost one clearly. The other one was more muddy, but I felt he lost that one as well. So he's lost 2 quarterback competitions. So yeah, I think he's been given a fair shot. Fair enough.
Okay, cool. That's a debate question right there. AOC got a fair shot. Let me set it up for you guys.
So we all agree that Ashton Genty wasn't the right pick then. So I'm just making sure.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, thank you. I don't want to have a conversation later.
I think
Thank
he
you.
will be the
I'm
right
glad
pick.
I didn't beat everybody into submission enough.
I think he'll eventually be the right pick.
I wasn't there.
Like, does
He
he
said
get another
so.
contract? That's left to be seen. But if he could take us to the playoffs and be that guy with Mendoza and Brock Bowers, I feel like he'll turn out to be to be worth the pick.
Yeah, I'm not a
But it
Genty
won't be
hater.
him.
I'm not a
it wouldn't be
Genty
him to get us
hater.
to
I
the
just
playoffs,
don't
though.
think it was the right pick at
Yeah,
6.
exactly. Like I've said before, I don't think Genty.
Just like I don't think
terrible
Mendoza
player.
was the right pick at number 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think Genty's a terrible player, but when I draft a running
Yeah.
back at 6, he needs to make an instant impact. He needs to be an offensive weapon in and of himself. I shouldn't have to pay damn near $30 million a year for a center, hire the best offensive coordinator in the league last year. Like, I shouldn't have to do all these things to get production out of you. I shouldn't be the 32nd team in rushing the year before we draft you, rush for less yards the next year, and be the 32nd rushing team again. Like, that shouldn't be the case. So if you're a generational player like I'm told you are, like everybody said you are, because what you did in a weak conference, then you need to show that immediately in the NFL. And it doesn't have to be an every game thing. Show it on a consistent basis. So, I mean, we talked about Bo Jackson having like 80 yards his first game. 80 yards over a 16 game season is 13. Like 1,300 yards or something like that.
Well, what was that offensive line rank though? That helps. Like he was on a team with Marcus Allen that was running for over 1,000 yards every year. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
and,
Okay,
look,
okay.
and you had Marcus Allen
Okay,
blocking for
save it,
you.
save it, save it, save it. Okay,
Marcus
let's
Allen
go
not a
to the
fullback,
round
but he's
table
not a real
about
fullback.
AOC.
I know, but he was still blocking for him. I'm saying.
All
I
right, here
mean,
we
that,
go.
that that wasn't helping.
We about to go to the we about to go to the opening statements here. Raider Twine. Choose choose the person to go first, and then with the in the next round in the cross, that person goes the opposite person goes first. So Raider Twine, who do you choose to go first?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Rebel on this one.
Okay. Let me get the clock ready. I'm gonna give you guys let me go ahead and give you guys 10 minutes.
What are we talking about?
Did
Was Aiden
Aiden
O'Connell
has
given a
Aiden O'Connell got a
fair
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 chance?
shot?
Oh, has he got a
Fair
fair
shot.
chance in his career?
Yeah, with the Raiders.
I think
All
this is
right.
already. I mean, let's just look at
Well,
the coaches he's had. My turn. My turn.
no,
Oh,
you know,
I thought you
no,
said
is it?
go.
Oh
Oh
wait, wait.
no,
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
just
sorry.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
I'm confused. Oh,
yeah. Go
okay,
ahead.
okay.
You guys got 8 minutes to go. You guys want to go right into the debate about it? Yeah, let's 2 minutes opening statement. 2 minutes opening statements. Actually, good point. 2 minute opening statement. I'm glad you was confused for a second. All right, 2 minutes opening statement for you. 2 minutes opening statement for you, Rebel. Starts now.
I mean, if we're talking about his rookie year, I guess you could say he got a fair shot after Josh McDaniels was out. But after that, I don't see how we could say he got a fair shot. I mean, I talked about it earlier. There was really no competition with Gardner Minshew. He was the guy making all the money. He was going to start. We all knew that. We all knew that with Geno Smith, right? We know it this year with Kirk Cousins. I don't see how you could say a kid's got a fair shot when you're throwing to Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfro, and Jacoby Myers, and then you take all that away from you take all that away the next year, and you're sitting on the bench, and then when you start losing, you put the kid out there, and then of course whatever happened, he got injured. But yeah, I don't know how you could say a fair shake. You had 7 offensive coordinators in 3 years, and last year, there was no chance of anybody playing. Even with Geno hurt, they still try to play Geno. So, yeah, I don't see how anybody could say the kid got a fair shake. I mean, you're throwing to guys like Alex Bachman and
Mm.
Christian Wilkins. The other, not the Christian Wilkins defensive line, but
Wilkerson.
Christian Wilkerson. Yeah, Wilkerson. But you know what I mean? You're throwing to guys like that, and Michael Mayer. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't see how you can say he got a fair shot when you have Antonio Pierce as the coach and then Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. The kid did damn good with Bo Hardegree, who had never called plays in his life. The kid went 5-4 as a starter and 5-5 as a rookie. So, and then what, 9 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last 5 or 6 games. So to come out and have to battle Gardner Minshew for a position who everybody was talking
10
about in camp,
seconds.
AOC was winning, and then you get shuffled behind because you bring in Tom Telesco and they pay Gardner Minshew all that money. So I just don't feel like he really got a fair shot
Time.
at all.
All right. Severe. Your opening statements. Your 2 minutes. Start now.
Yeah, he was given a fair shot. I mean, the fact that he even saw the field, right? A lot of times people like if a lot of times somebody wouldn't even go to a rookie, let alone like a rookie fourth round pick in those situations. So the fact that he even got that kind of exposure shows you that he was given more than most fourth round picks ever get in their entire careers. There's guys drafted in the fourth round that never touched the field in any meaningful snaps. The fact that he actually saw some time and was able to have a modicum of success. I think the fact that we were so low as a franchise at the time that he played well or played somewhat well, won some games. I think the main games people point to are the Chiefs games, one of which he didn't complete a pass. for after the second quarter. It was run on 2 defensive scores, and the running game in that game. I think that's been more than given a fair shot, right? And then the very next year, he was in the quarterback competition with Gardner Minshew, which a lot of people said Gardner Minshew was winning, and a lot of people said Aiden O'Connell was winning. And know what happened? And why Aiden O'Connell subsequently ended up losing that competition? Because he threw a pick six against third stringers. And that basically sealed his fate. It was a close enough competition before that, but if he doesn't turn the ball over in a situation like that, then there's a chance that he wins the job. But guess what? It was in his hands, and he fumbled it away. And that's something that we've seen consistently, is that he turns the ball over in inopportune times. And the fact that he's going through all these offensive coordinators, guess what? Every quarterback on our roster has gone through those same things. So to say he wasn't given a fair shake, I think that's being hypocritical, because was Geno Smith given a fair shake if that's the case? Because he had to deal with old man Pete Carroll and Brendan Carroll didn't know what the hell he was doing, and Chip Kelly and whatever else after the fact. But we don't point to and say, oh, well, Geno Smith didn't get a fair shot as a starter last year.
He got to
But
play
we
all
say
17.
Aiden O'Connell didn't give a. But we say Aiden O'Connell wasn't given a fair shot because he had to deal with that same offense. It doesn't make any sense. He's a solid backup quarterback, and as a fourth guy drafted in the 4th round, I think he'll make a long career being just that.
All right. We're going to go to the next round, the cross, and give you guys 10 minutes on this one. Rebel was ready to rebel. So you guys got 10 minutes. Remember the rules. So Severe, you start off. If you ask a question, you got to allow him to answer the question. He has 30 seconds to answer the question. If he starts making other points, you can jump in. But if you guys want to let each other finish these other points, that's fine too. I'm just saying that is within the rules. And keep it respectful. You guys been very respectful all night. Appreciate it. All right, the 10 minutes starts now.
So what does a fair shot look like to Raider Rebel? Raiders Unleashed. What would a fair shot consist of?
I mean, fair shot for a 4-string quarterback. You would hope if you're putting in a 4-string quarterback, you at least have an offensive line, receivers to throw to, somebody to call plays that could at least put you in the best position or give you the ability to change, use your skills, change plays at the line of scrimmage, check into a run play, check into a hot route, right? Be able to do what quarterbacks do. And I just haven't seen that. I mean, you can watch tape over and over again, and I don't see, once in a while, I've seen him, pointing out the mic, but you don't really see him changing formations or checking into a run play. So I don't know, to have an opportunity, I just feel like you got to be given an opportunity, right? You can't just say, oh, well, he was given an opportunity with Antonio Pierce, that was a linebacker coach, and doesn't even know how to coach a team, and then the guys you bring in around him, the coaching staff you bring in around him, like, I mean, I don't know. That, to me, if you're going to give somebody a fair shake, then you would at least give him that chance to start that season. And you're right. Maybe he did, end it by throwing that interception himself.
So time out. You say that Antonio Pierce didn't know what he was doing, right? That's your contention, correct? That was, I mean, it's just yes or no question.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, the first year was different coaching staff. That was McDaniel's coaching staff.
When did Aiden O'Connell win most of his games? Who was the
with
head coach?
Antonio Pierce? But that was
exactly
McDaniel's.
Mike. So if he didn't know what he was doing,
okay.
So he didn't know what he was doing then. Then when Aiden O'Connell was winning games, so that was just all Aiden O'Connell. It's nothing else. Aiden O'Connell just carried us to those wins. Then the next year he couldn't do it. So now Antonio Pierce doesn't know what he's doing, right? Remember, everybody in the Raider Nation wanted Antonio Pierce to be the head coach because of that string of wins, except me. I wasn't a believer until we won on defense against the Chiefs. I said, don't do it. And I said, if you do it, give the man multiple years. We went the opposite direction. But so he didn't know what he was doing at that point. But the very next year, after all of Raider Nation called for him to be the guy, and then Aiden O'Connell doesn't have the same success, now it's Antonio Pierce's fault?
So Antonio Pierce, when he took over and they won those games, he was not controlling the offense. He was controlling the defensive side of the ball. That was Bo Hardegree, and that was Josh McDaniels guys that they brought in, right? It was Joe Lombardi was still there. I think he got fired. Yeah, he got fired. They got fired, and Joe Hardegree took over. But there was guys like Joe Philbin, and there was still a lot of veterans in there that he could lean on.
Antonio Pierce
and then the second year he brought in, the guy from New York, and then and brought in all his guys, and it didn't work the second year, right? Wasn't it Chip Kelly that he brought in? Wasn't that his guy? So
No,
I
that
mean,
wasn't who. Who guy?
Antonio Pierce. Then
No, that was not.
That was not
the guy
his
that brought
guy.
in
Chip that
no.
brought in Chip Kelly.
He is
Well,
not him
I
and
mean,
Brian Chip Kelly. So
I mean, not
Yeah,
Chip
Chip
Kelly.
Kelly.
The
Chip Kelly.
Luke Getzey. My bad, Luke Getzey.
he brought
Yeah.
yeah
Gotcha.
that,
Yeah.
well that was that was he wanted we all know who he wanted, and he wanted Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah,
and the
and
Raiders
he bounced.
and the Raiders
Yeah.
the Raiders didn't do what they needed to do to make sure they had Cliff Kingsbury in hand, and then Cliff Kingsbury went on to the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels had the best rookie season of any quarterback of all time. So that's not on
No.
Antonio Pierce.
He also wanted a quarterback too.
Yeah. I mean, he also wanted to keep Josh Jacobs as well. But hey,
But they could have drafted Spencer Rattler, and he didn't. So I mean,
we all know how I feel about Tom Yackenberg, who was the player we chose over Spencer Rattler. But so we don't even need to get into that. So Antonio Pierce was running the offense. Who was the offensive coordinator?
say Bo Hardegree was the offensive coordinator.
No, I'm talking about his actual year of being the head coach. Who was the offensive coordinator? It wasn't
The
Antonio
offensive
Pierce, was it?
No, it was Luke Getzey.
It was Luke Getzey.
And then the Turners.
So it
And
wasn't
Turners,
Antonio
right?
Pierce that was running the offense. So that's what I'm saying. We want to blame AOC's mishaps on Luke,
I'm not blaming-
or Antonio Pierce,
I'm
but
not
it
blaming
wasn't him who was
on-
running offense.
On Antonio Pierce, because Antonio Pierce said afterwards that he wanted AOC to start, that he was outvoted from the guy that he brought in, and Luke Getzey and Tom Telesco.
Let me ask you this. When Aiden O'Connell was a starter that year for Antonio Pierce, and Luke Getzey was the offensive coordinator for most of that year, who was our starting tight end?
It was Michael Mayer.
No, it was not.
It was not Michael. Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Who started?
It was Brock Bowers.
It was.
The year we started, the year Antonio Pierce was the full
Oh yeah,
head
his first.
coach,
Yeah,
it was
his
Brock
first head
Bowers.
coach year. I
Yes.
thought you meant the.
Yeah,
the
not the
other
interim
season.
year. It was
Yeah.
it was Brock Bowers. Earlier in the conversation, we were talking about Kirk Cousins, and what statement did you make about a quarterback throwing to Brock Bowers? Did you not say that any quarterback could look good?
Every quarterback
throwing-
looks good throwing the Brock Bowers.
and Aiden O'Connell had Brock Bowers the entire year, did he not?
Did he? Yeah, and that
Did,
most
did
of
he
his.
look good? Did he look
most
good
of-
enough to be named the starter outright at any point?
I mean, I don't know. I thought he did, but obviously they didn't think he did. So,
Apparently
like
not.
you said, he
because
lost
the
it
very next
because
year,
he lost it for
tried-
that interception.
And
But-
the
but
very
my
next
point-
year, they tried to trade for Matthew Stafford, and that was unsuccessful. And then subsequently traded for Geno Smith. So Aiden O'Connell had Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker in the slot, Michael Mayer,
And he was good.
and Brock Bowers. And
he was good his rookie year, but
No,
then
he
the
wasn't.
next year,
That wasn't his rookie- well, it
the
wasn't
following
I'm
year,
talking about the
the
second
following year, you took Devontae Adams.
he
you
didn't
got
have-
rid
he
of,
didn't have Brock
they
Bowers
got,
his rookie year.
They got rid of Hunter Renfro.
He didn't have Hunter he didn't have Hunter as a rookie either.
His rookie year wasn't Hunter
He didn't
Renfro
have-
still on the team?
No, he didn't have. He didn't
Oh,
have
I
Hunter.
thought Hunter was still on.
Hunter was already dealing with whatever he was dealing with. He was already out of the league. He didn't have Brock Bowers.
Yeah, well, you still had You still had Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams,
and he
and
had
Devontae
that
Adams
the next
is-
year with Luke Getzey too.
is the safety
until they
blanket.
asked for the trade. Yeah, until they asked for the trade. So he had that his rookie year as well. His that next year as well with Luke Getzey there. So and he still didn't look good enough. So my point is that, and it's not to trash Aiden O'Connell. I think Aiden O'Connell is I think he's an NFL caliber quarterback. I don't think he's a starting caliber quarterback. I think he's a guy that will make a lot more money than a lot of these other guys because he will be in the league a very long time as a backup. And I think after that, he will go into coaching. But I don't think he's a guy, especially on this team, that's going to elevate the people around him. I think he needs more around him to be successful, and we're not in a position to do so. And that's part of the reason why I didn't want to draft Mendoza, because I don't think Mendoza is a guy that lifts everybody. I think he's a cog in the system. So I don't think either one of those guys should be the guy for our team. But now, we're stuck with both of them, and I've said it before that if Kirk Cousins is a starter, I think Aiden O'Connell should be the backup, because first of all, we've seen Aiden O'Connell have an opportunity to come in games where he didn't start, come in and have some success. We've seen him be named starter a week on short notice and go in there and have some success. He's used to that role, but generally in games where he's named the starter early, I allowed the Minnesota game where we lost 3-0. He struggled. So
So Sabir, let me cut you off
Yeah,
there.
but then the
About
next week he
one
come out
second.
and threw 4 touchdowns in the first
fairness,
half.
Okay. So what do
He's
you think
also
about
6-1 when they rush for over 100 yards. It should be 7-0. I mean, the
Okay,
the
one more.
dude's two
Okay,
and zero
so
against Kansas City. He put up 340
I
and
don't
two
want to mute your
touchdowns
mic. I don't want to mute
in
your
a
and then he
mic.
loss to
fumbled,
Kansas
I
and then
don't
he
want to
City.
and,
mute
and
your
then he
mic.
fumbled,
I don't want
and
to
then
mute
he
your
Oh,
fumbled
mic.
in the.
then JPJ fumbled.
He fumbled.
JPJ snapped the ball when nobody was looking.
No, he
Hold
did. He
on.
gave the signal, and then
Hold
There was
on.
no.
he gave the signal because
It's
Dylan
on.
Park. Because
It's
in
on
our
film.
system,
It's on film. We
and
can break
that's
it down. It's on. You can look at it right at it. He's looking this way, and there's no JPJ just snapped the.
Okay, Sabir,
he gave
I
the
would like
signal
for
to
you guys
Dylan.
to
Dylan
stop. Hold
Parham is
on.
the guy
Stop,
that, that
stop,
that makes
stop,
the
stop,
signal
stop,
in
stop,
a in a, in
stop.
a, in a silent count.
Sabir.
I know what I'm talking
I
about.
got hold on, we're running out of time. So what do you think about AOC saying that he wants to be a starter since you say that he's a serviceable backup source? And how do you think how did you feel about that comment when he made it?
I love that comment.
Hmm.
There shouldn't be a single player in the NFL that should say I'm okay being a backup. If you go into in a camp or in OTAs, in a training mini camp, training camp, OTAs, any of that, and saying, okay, yeah, I just want to be a backup. Nah, bro, fuck you then. Get the fuck off my team. I don't want nobody that's not going and in this to be a starter and be a contributor on a team. So yeah, that's the attitude I want him to have. Now I don't want it to be a situation where if he's not the starter, he's gonna sulk about it, and he's never shown that he has or would in the past. So that's why I think he's a great backup. He's a guy that's gonna go out there and push your starters and make sure they earn the job. And then if and when he doesn't win the job, he's gonna be competent in his role as a backup and do what the team needs to do to
10
win.
seconds. Okay, so Rebel, with that being said, well, why do you think they're not giving him a opportunity to start this year then? Because if that's what he said and he hasn't really had a fair shot, well, what is the reason do you think that this regime, which is the most um, competent regime that we've probably had on paper so far, um, why don't you think they're giving him a fair shot?
Has he been taking first team reps? I mean, we heard when he was out there with the twos, he's throwing touchdowns to Cedric Jackson, right? He's throwing touchdowns to Malik Benson. He's throwing touchdowns to Jack Bash. Then he's running with the threes. He's throwing touchdowns to EJ Williams. So I mean, the man's out there running. Like if you put him with a decent offensive line, which he showed his rookie year, they had a decent offensive line. He had weapons to throw to. He was decent his rookie year. I don't think he just became a bad quarterback after that. The team fell off after that. The offensive line got worse. The offensive line coaching got worse. The play calling got worse. The offensive got worse. You got rid of his number one target in Devontae Adams. And like I said, you're throwing to guys like Alex Bachman. So put him out there with the ones and just see what he has. If he doesn't have it, then fine. Like Severe said, last year, 2 years ago, his sophomore year, he had a chance. He threw an interception in the preseason game, and that was it, right? He lost the job himself. So go out there. If the coaching staff is constantly preaching, everybody's going to get first team reps, and there's a competition at every position, then just show it. Just show it. Go out there, let each quarterback and Fernando too run with the ones and see what they can do. Like I said, throw in the Brock Bowers and see what they can do with a better offensive line and a better coached offensive line. You have a better center you're not gonna have somebody pushed in your face constantly. I mean, you still have struggles at the right tackle position, but maybe Trey Zune could take that over by the time the season starts the way he's been playing, right? They said they're going to find a spot for him, and maybe that spot is right tackle because DJ Glaze is constantly, we hear, getting beat, over and over again. Yes, it's just not just Max Crosby. So, put him out there with a good coaching staff, a coach that knows offense, that knows how to scheme guys open, a guy that's going to put him in the best position to win in the preseason, and see what the young man has, right? Kirk Cousins, like I said, he's just where he's at because of the relationship they've had. They know from his body of work what he can do. He's the veteran, but there's no proof that Kirk Cousins can still be Kirk Cousins coming off that injury 2 years ago.
Okay. Land it, because you got your closing arguments. Save some of those haymakers for the closing arguments. So So Sabir, you went first with the. Yeah, you went first, and then so you will get your Rebel. You'll get to start your closing arguments. You're gonna have 3 minutes. Let me get your. You get your 3 minutes, and also here's a comment for you to address inside of your closing. Good question by G Fam. Well, he did start 17 games, went 7-10, 377 completions with 608 attempts, 62.62 completion percentage, nearly 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 187 yards per game, and sacked 35 times for 260 yards lost. Fair shake? So do you feel like that's a fair shake? Oh, I should have put it up. My bad. So you could have read it. My bad. You can read it.
Yeah, I know all the stats. Yeah,
Okay.
um,
So
I don't know
so hold
what
on, hold on, hold on, hold
I don't
on.
know what
Your
the
three
question
your
means
three
by
minutes.
fair shake.
1 second. Your 3 minutes starts now.
I don't know what the question means by fair shake. He's saying I don't know, right? With the I don't know symbol. So I mean, yeah, those numbers right there tell you that the kid could go out there and win games. I don't feel like we lost a lot of games from Aiden O'Connell if we lost any, right? Maybe the Chargers game, his first game ever of his career, where he got sacked 7 times and then just led us back from down 10 points with a chance to go in and win the game or tie the game, whatever it was, and he threw a pick six. Rookie mistake, right? First game ever. Other than that, I can't remember him winning losing us a lot of games. Now, Severe said, the fumble, we'll have to show that on tape because I showed that on my channel over and over again, and everybody that was in the chat agreed there was no communication, no nothing. JPJ was not paying attention. AOC looking to the sideline. Why you're looking to the sideline when you have a headset on and whatever they're telling you, you should be looking at the ball constantly. I don't know if he was trying to put guys in play or somebody was trying to get his attention. I don't know what happened, but the point is we lost. But he had 340 yards and outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game. Had better stats, better QBR rating, and better completion ratio. So the kid and those numbers that are on the screen right there show what he can do, right? 62% completion ratio is not bad considering the coaches that he's had and the offensive coordinators he had, right? The running game behind him, like I said, 6-1 when the Raiders rush for 100 yards plus, right? That's damn good stats. Could be, should be, right? You make the call. 7-0 when the Raiders rush for 100 yards. That's damn good stats. So the kid doesn't make turnovers, right? You can see by the numbers right there, 11 interceptions to 20 touchdowns. If you're telling me my quarterback this year, those are the numbers, I think that's way better than we were last year. I think that puts us at 7-8, 7 or 8 wins if those are our numbers. If we
1
have
minute.
a top 15 defense, so yeah, I just don't feel like he got a fair shake. And if you do feel like you got a fair shake, that's fine. But put him out there, see what the kid can do with the ones in camp, the rest of the camp, and the preseason, even the joint practice game. And if he's not the guy, fine, he's not the guy. If he thinks he's the guy and wants to move on, that's fine too. Like I always say, bro, it's about the shield, and I don't care. I just don't feel like the kid's ever got a fair shake. We've seen what he can do with not even great coaching, but great decent players around him. They still didn't have the best defense that year, but they did pretty well. And the numbers on the screen speak for themselves. So I feel like with a competent coach, as everybody said, right? You have a competent coach, a confident offensive coordinator, and look what he's done to the quarterbacks that he's played with: Brock
10
Purdy,
seconds
Sam
landed.
Darnold. He said there's a lot to work there with Aiden O'Connell. So, maybe he can make Aiden O'Connell that guy, and, maybe not. Maybe he moves on and is that guy. Maybe
All
he's a
right.
backup for life. But I feel like in this organization at this time right now is the best chance to see what we have in Aiden O'Connell. And if he's not the guy and he loses it for himself, then he's not the guy. You keep him as a backup, you move on, you trade him. But if, all the talk about trading him, if they're really trying to trade him,
That's
why,
time,
why
bro.
aren't, why are you not playing him?
Yep. All right. Man. So really got your work cut out for you, bro. I ain't supposed to be talking. Here's your question. Here's your question or response from G Fam. He said the coaching turnover is the only reason I say he didn't get a fair shake because under consistent coaching, he might be able to excel. You can address whatever you like, but I would like for you to hit this topic as well. Your 3 minutes starts now.
So to address this point right off the bat, coaching turnover happens when team loses games, right? You saw the Raiders; they won down the stretch of Antonio Pierce's first season. I will ask everybody in the chat what was the ranking of the Raiders defense during that stretch. I think, yeah, I want to say what was the ranking of the defense during the stretch. They were the number one ranked defense in the league during that stretch. The Raiders won 5 games during that stretch. You look at Aiden O'Connell's record. He's 7-10 as a career starter. So that means 5 of his career wins came during that stretch when they had the number one ranked defense. Oh, what a surprise! He needed the number one ranked defense to win more games than he lost. So that shows you that he's a guy that needs to be carried by the supporting cast around him. The Raiders haven't had the talent to carry a quarterback forever. One of the reasons why we had to get rid of Derek Carr because we felt we needed an upgrade because we needed somebody that can help improve the play of the team and not be dependent on what was around him to support them as a player. We talk about just Aiden O'Connell just being an up and down player, right? The difference between if you think about what makes the great players great or the good players really good and the great players really great, it's consistency. Any player in the league can go off for a game. I've seen Mike White go off for 200 or for 400 yards 2 games in a row and then be a bad quarterback. So it's not about what can you do in an isolated instance. It's what do you do consistently. You are what you consistently do. Isn't that the old saying? And what Aiden O'Connell is he's consistently inconsistent. And when you're on that roller coaster ride with the quarterback, that doesn't breed stability. So if Aiden O'Connell wanted to be the guy to keep a coach on the team, guess what he could have done? He could have won the job that first year instead of turn the ball over and then won games. And when he got an opportunity to get in the game and win games, first things he did was get hurt, which is also a constant theme, right? He got hurt in the Rams game after Gardner Minshew got hurt, and then he got hurt in the Tampa Bay game. He got hurt sliding, right? So he's first of all he's an inconsistent player and he's injured. And we can go back to that KC game that he lost on a fumble. When there's a silent count, the center isn't looking behind them. It's usually a guard that's looking behind them. The person that gives the signal to the center to snap in that situation was Dylan Parham. Usually in a silent count, the quarterback has a particular gesture that they do to let the guard know who is looking back at the time that it's time to snap the ball. A lot of times it's lifting their leg. Aiden O'Connell lifts his leg, so then Dylan Parham touches JPJ, which signals JPJ to snap the ball. That's how a silent count works. What did Aiden O'Connell do before that ball was snapped? He lifted his leg. So he made the mistake, and that's what eventually cost us the game. Anybody that doesn't believe that, go back and watch the tape.
Seconds.
Look who's looking backwards. Look how Dylan Parham touches JPJ,
Nice.
and then JPJ snaps the ball. That's how it goes. So I just feel
Pull it
that
up. Pull it up.
yeah, pull it up, bro. I've watched it 1,000 times. We can pull it up all we want to. So the fact that we talk about his 7-10 record, like I said, most of it was done with the number one ranked defense in the league. The Raiders haven't had that in forever, and they're not going to have that for a long time again. And if we talk about Clint Kubiak and what he is as a coach and the offensive mind,
that's it. Hey, so I will tell you guys this. On the next show, we're going to talk about that play. I was going to do that play for sure. That's a very good one because that's something that kind of is cloudy in our minds. So that is a good topic. We will discuss that topic. So, chat, y'all seen it. This is the verdict. We need the verdict from you guys. I need the verdict from the chat. Let's see. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first. Well, man, that was tough. And I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible because I do think that you guys both had valid points and I can see both sides could possibly work. Like if you did give AOC a chance, maybe he could play better. But for me, the one thing that I can't get over, and it was brought up late in the conversation, was his ability to stay on the field. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. Like you can't really. It's hard to say. Did he put himself in the best position? And then also, what you initially said was how often does a fourth rounder get the opportunity to get to all those chances. So I'm gonna go with Severe on this one. But definitely was a good debate. Let me see. Let's see. Ritter Twine, you want to go, or should I go
Yeah,
to the chat first? Oh, go ahead.
go
Go ahead.
go go to the chat. Go to the chat.
Okay, let's see what the chat say. Let's see what the chat say. Um, I can give. Let me see. So I'll give you. It's Severe, Rebel, Severe.
Can I just
Yes,
say I feel like this is
AOC.
an unfair topic because nobody likes AOC. No, I'm just kidding.
You got your whole chat in here, man. Your whole chat like is AOC fans.
My boy be riding with AOC. Respect. This is tough out the chat. I think I'm Rebel win this one. I think I'm gonna go with the chat and give this one to Rebel. You give this one to
Can I
Rebel.
can I can I disagree? I think Severe had better points. I mean, for real though.
We
I
got
think the
flight.
chat.
We got flight.
Oh, is that what that was? Was that a
That's
flight?
flight.
Is that a flight?
That's a flight.
I mean, we do have one more judge. Do you want to go to the one judge or do you want a flight?
You want to wait for that? I'd wait for the judge, man. You've already got him. You got the
Wait for the
votes
judge,
in.
man.
It's
That's what
1-1.
counts.
It's
You
1-1.
got a 50-50 chance of winning. And I didn't
Yeah,
already
it's
shit on Genty,
1-1.
so Twan might have something against me, man. So you know.
We don't know.
Hey, I
We
got a
got
full
one. It's
clip. You know what I'm
1-1.
saying? I got a
I,
full
hey,
clip.
I ain't forfeiting. I just say he did have damn good points. I'm just saying. I just wanted to throw that
Yeah.
out there.
No, go
I
ahead.
like that.
Go ahead, Twan.
He did have some damn good
No,
points though.
nah, you guys definitely, you know what I'm saying, that was a good fight, you know what I'm saying? I don't if I was paying pay-per-view, you know what I'm saying, I felt like I got my money's worth, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, with AOC, I felt like, he was put in bad situations, but I also have to push back on that, even with that being said, because I think all of our quarterbacks that we brought in were in those similar situations. You know what I'm saying? We can start from Derek Carr all the way to, you know what I'm saying, we probably can go further than that, but you know what I'm saying, we can go from Derek Carr all the way to now. And some of those things that, we're asking or would like to get for AOC in an ideal situation are not necessarily what we have here. I also feel like reps are, you know what I'm saying, reps are not given, but they're earned. And I think in this situation with
Facts.
ALC, I think there's, he had opportunities to, you know what I'm saying, knock out the champ, you know what I'm saying? And in boxing, if you're not the champ and you're the challenger, the only way that you'll win that fight is if you knock out your opponent. And unfortunately, he was put in a lot of situations, or a few situations, where the head coach was definitely
This ain't this ain't
fighting.
boxing though. Boxing is a single sport. This is a team sport.
but
we talking
but
battle
but
royal or something like.
but it's
Can
but
somebody
it
kick Genty girlfriend out the chat? Who's this Henrietta girl?
Genty's girlfriend. What?
but it still ties into the battle, right? The battle between two quarterbacks. What quarterback is the better quarterback? Who's the one that's producing? Who's the one that got, again, everybody, put together? And I think, unfortunately, AOC was put in position to knock out whoever that, whether it was Minshew or whoever was ahead of him, and he failed to do that. It shouldn't have been a situation where it came down to a tie if he was really so wanting to be a starting quarterback for this team. So, my personal opinion, I love AOC. I think AOC is not a starter. I think he is a great backup. You know what I'm saying? And if you ask me, the pecking order of what we currently have right now is Kirk Cousins, then AOC, then Mendoza. And I'm not willing to, especially where we are with our team, I'm not willing to give AOC some first team snaps, because there's a lot of things that need to be developed and established, that we don't need to have the extra competition in the number one spot. So if
But
he
what if
needs,
we're developing them
if
and establishing them for the wrong player? What if Kurt's slow
it,
ass ain't that? What if his timing is off and his rhythm is off? We won't
that
know if there's not a
let him get his
competition.
let him
but
finish his bro.
My bad.
but
Good.
that's again, still that's still not the discussion of what we're trying to do here. Like, it has already been placed that Kirk Cousins is the foundation, and then AOC comes behind that. So I'm not going to manage. I'm not going to waste first team snaps. You again, snaps are not given, or reps are not given, they're earned. So wherever
Facts.
AOC lands in that pecking order, he needs to be shredding whoever it is. If we have a 14 squad, AOC needs to be out there shredding in order for him to be that, move up the ranks. So that's where I'm standing on that. So with all that being said, I do feel like Severe had a stronger case. I think both you guys again brought a lot of things to the table, but I think again AOC had his opportunity, but he just did not. When he stood in front of the champ, he didn't knock him down.
I mean, he beat Kansas City twice. They were the champs. They beat Kansas City twice. Derek Carr only beat him 3 times in 9 years.
Jack Jones and Jack Jones and what you call it beat him one time.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you ain't turning the ball over, you ain't losing, right?
So
Hey?
so Twan, your vote is to who?
My vote is for Severe on this one.
That's
All
what I
right,
was wondering.
Severe. Really good. All right, Severe wins the final battle of the evening. Any
Best for
words?
last.
Yeah,
I
man.
guess.
It's a few things that I was gonna say. I didn't really get into my bag. I had a lot more I was gonna say, man. But like I said, man, I was gonna talk about Kubiak. There's a lot more I was gonna get into. There's a lot more I was gonna get into, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for giving me the win here. Like I said, we talk about a fair shake with Aiden O'Connell. Are any of the quarterbacks that were on the team before, are they still on the roster? Is anybody that was on the team his rookie year or second year or last year, or any of those guys still on the roster? No. Aiden O'Connell was the last man standing. So that means all these separate coaching staffs that have all seen Aiden O'Connell and say, you know what? I think we need to go somewhere else. Remember last offseason when Tom Brady took it upon himself to go watch film and work out with Aiden O'Connell. And then the very next day, he flew to like Montana to recruit Matthew Stafford. That should have told you all you need to know about what he thought about Aiden O'Connell. Was that after a film session and a workout session with Aiden O'Connell individually, no other coaches around, just them one-on-one. He flew to Montana to try to recruit Matthew Stafford, and then they subsequently gave up a third-round pick for Geno Smith. So obviously Tom Brady didn't believe in him from what he saw. These other coaching staffs didn't believe him as a starter. I think all of them feel he brings value to this organization. I feel he brings value to this organization as a guy that's going to push a starter, as a guy to make sure, look, the starter on this team is not going to be able to slack in practice, not going to be able to slack in training camp, because we have a guy in Aiden O'Connell that's out there that wants to be a starter and is going to do everything in his power to be a starter. So he's going to make damn sure our starter is on their P's and Q's. I think that's a valuable thing to have in the backup quarterback. He's shown that he can come in certain situations, and he can be a serviceable quarterback and win you games. I think that's an ideal role for him. And I think if you look at people want to poo-poo on Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer spent like 14 years in the league, made a shit ton of money. He made a lot more money than several first-round picks have made at quarterback. So I think, it's not a bad thing for Aiden O'Connell to be a career backup. In some instances, being able to be a backup and be viewed in that way is a positive thing, because a lot of the reasons why, players like Cam Newton and Vince Young and so on and so forth, a lot of reasons those guys weren't given jobs in the NFL and their careers ended early or earlier than expected is because people didn't feel that they were backup quarterback material. And that cost them money, in the long run, and it shortened their career. So, no, hats off to Aiden O'Connell. Best of luck to him. But he's not a starter in the NFL, unfortunately.
All right. All right. Well,
I
that
got a I
concludes.
I got
Go
a
ahead.
side contest. If you're going to conclude, I'm going to side contest. I think of the three, me versus JD, uh, uh, Juan versus who did Juan go
Versus Jason,
against?
versus
Jason.
Raider Nation.
Jason, Raider Nation Jason, and then Severe versus Rebel. I vote Rebel and Severe as being the best debate of the night.
And look, I was gonna throw a shot at Raider Nation Jason because you remember Baby Kurt. You remember Baby Kurt, dog. You remember? You remember? I didn't. I was gonna give you. I be giving it to Angelo every chance I get. I let Angelo know about that one.
Yeah.
High
So,
hopes. High hopes.
so, so that those are the three debates. Um, you guys, you know, I really, really appreciate you guys for, hacking in and doing this very first show. We'll streamline some things, and I think it was good overall. But I mean, if you guys want to dip out, but I did have one little just general question about today, man. It was a fight today, man. Is Max Crosby doing too much? I just need to know just from y'all. Is Max Crosby doing too much at this point? He showed up with the presser with no t-shirt on. I'm calling him a habitual line stepper at this point. Um, Now, I mean, I read Twine. He said some things about, look, man. I mean, you keep pushing the limit, and now it got to the point where you could have injured the quarterback. I mean, but then Max Crosby is trying to get back in his bag because if he don't, then we're gonna say that we should have traded him. And I think he's just trying to get back in mode. Do you guys thinking Max Crosby doing too much at this point?
Maybe
Yeah, man, he
Max wants
doing.
AOC. He
Yeah,
trying to hurt Kirk.
I think Max doing too much, man. I think Max doing
Yeah.
too much, and it's a tough situation because obviously Max is into a well, Brock. I mean, Brock doesn't have the personality. Ashton Genty doesn't have the talent, and we have yet to see what Fernando Mendoza is. So right now, Max he's the face of the franchise. So it puts players in a tough situation where Max keeps habitually doing things to the quarterbacks that they tell him not to do. They keep telling them don't make contact with the quarterback. Don't hit the quarterback. He's done it every year. He brags about it on his pod. He's done it every year, and he brags about it on his podcast.
He's a
And
rebel.
people really can't do anything about it because are you going to be the guy that knocks Max Crosby out or socks him in the jaw, breaks his jaw, and he's out 4 weeks? Are you going to be the dude that does that? And if you do that, do you expect to make this fucking team? You're not. You're not
He'd
going to
be
make the fucking
famous.
team. So the only person that's in the position to do something did it, and that was two people, and that was Kirk Cousins and Clint Kubiak. Those are the only two people that can really hold him accountable. Because if anybody else tries, it's going to be an issue. So I mean, I look. I love the intensity. I love turning up the temperature in practice. I'm all good with that. But there's a time and there's a way to do it properly, and there's a way not to do it. And Max seems to always find the way not to do it.
Yeah,
I
I
agree
mean,
with that. I agree with that part of it, but I mean, Max is Max. We know what Max is. Max is Max 100% all the way, all the time. I was a paratrooper. He's all the way like a paratrooper. You can't have one without the other. I mean, I'm sorry. You're either all into it or you're not. And does he cross the line? Of course he does. And like you said, he's done it for years. He's always hit the quarterback. They said, "Hey," John Gruden even said, "Hey, knock it off." And he said, "No." We all say, you play like you practice, but then we want him to practice like a certain way and then play another way. I mean, you're going to have to take the bad with the good, in my opinion. And that's Max. That he's consistent. He's that way every single day, every hour, every minute, every second. If you don't like it, well, then you don't like Max, and that's fine. But I mean, that's what you get when you get that kind of player that is just going to give 1,000% every single second of every single day. And, you're going to get some repercussions from that. But, that's it. I mean, that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
What
It's all
what
fun and
would
games
that
until somebody gets hurt.
would that have
Because
flied in
once that quarterback gets hurt,
Baltimore?
once he hurts that quarterback, that changes everything.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just simple.
you're right.
There's
It can't.
practice
It
etiquette.
can't.
He's just got there. He can still go full speed. He can still beat the shit out of Glaze because Glaze needs it. Got that? Check, check. We're good with that. That's what. That's why they're positional players. That's what he needs to do. But when a quarterback's dropping back to throw and you hit his arm when it's in motion, you snap that tendon into that quarterback's elbow, and all shit's gonna rain down. And everybody that doesn't have a problem with him doing it is gonna have a problem with him doing that. I guarantee you. So the best thing to
I'm
do is
gonna
learn
say it's
from it.
football. I'm gonna say it's football if that happens. That's what happens.
Yeah.
I guess I don't like Max thing because I don't like that. I don't like what he's doing. How many times can we really sometimes take our Raider cap off and really look at Max and say, is he really out there for himself? Because I think his actions today showed that he was really for himself. He said, forget it. I need to get my work in. I need to get my work in and do that again, risking our quarterback. Why again? And going back to this statement, why do we have our quarterbacks wearing red? Can someone please help me? Because since I don't know, can someone tell me why our quarterbacks wear red?
So they
don't get
touch
hit.
him.
So why are we hitting our quarterback? Simple as that. And it's not just Kirk Cousins. I'm not caping for Kirk Cousins. I'm talking about all of our quarterbacks. All of our quarterbacks are red. So that means none of our quarterbacks need to be touched. Simple as that.
And if they don't put
and simple as that. And he's a habitual again. I believe he is a habitual line stepper because again, you have all these young impressionable guys that want to be Max Crosby that are looking at this guy continue to continue not following the rules. And we have people, no offense to anybody that has said this previously, but saying Max is just a cop out. How many times why are we giving him a pass? The rules
you're not going to give Kuntz or Crawford a pass if they do it.
Don't touch your quarterback. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Jason, you had something, Raider Nation?
So the query, first of all, you'll never hear me say give Jack Best a chance. You already know that, bro. So you ain't got to attribute that to me. And the other point is that it's football. I don't care if you're not trying to hurt anybody. It's not your intent. It's not about what you're trying to do. I know nobody out there is trying to hurt anybody else. I would assume because they're all on the same team. But if you're being careless and reckless and selfish, your actions could lead to somebody getting hurt. So why even put yourself in that position? So know what we should do then? Since it's in practice, since Max wants to do this nonsense bullshit, let's have our offensive linemen just start cutting people's knees in practice. Let's just start practice cut blocks. And then if somebody gets hurt, they just get hurt because it's fucking football, right? We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're just practicing cut blocks at their knees. And if they get hurt, they get hurt. Max, who's coming off multiple knee surgeries, hey, bro, if you miss a fucking season, well, it's football. We weren't trying to hurt you. That's fucking bullshit, and you know it, dog.
Hey, Jason, Raider Nation, Jason, close us out with your comment.
Yeah, I would say, a lot of that stuff would have flied before the trade. But, before he went to Ravens Nation.
Flock.
You know what I mean? And I mean, would he be hitting Lamar Jackson like that? Max being Max, Would that fly in Baltimore?
Nope.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yep. I want to thank y'all for popping up.
Hey, I want to go.
Round.
Nobody.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, nobody's above the shield, right? Isn't that the motto? Nobody's above the shield. So how come Max Crosby gets a pass and he's above the shield, right? Like, nobody's above the shield. He talks about nobody's above the shield. So, Kirk Cousins says, we're taking or Clint Kubiak says we're taking the eye out of the building, right? It's all about we and team now. But I still hear Max Crosby talking about I want to be great. I want to be a gold jacket. I. So he's the rebel of the building. He's not following suit and he's not setting an example for the rookies in the building. Like if Max Crosby don't have to listen to the rules or follow the authority, why do we have to, right? So, it's a bad look for the young guys. You're supposed to set an example out there. You can't be hitting a quarterback especially when he's 39 years old or 45 or whatever he is. You can't be out there hitting the man's arm when he's trying to throw. Like you're gonna tear an elbow or a shoulder or something in there. So yeah, I feel the rules should apply to everybody and nobody's above the shield. So you know you can't be out there doing that. And yes, they sat him down for the rest of the practice, but I don't think it matters. And we've heard Max Crosby say it himself, right? You could kind of put this on DJ Glaze, right? You heard Max Crosby say it himself. If you don't want me hitting your quarterback, stop me. Stop me. That's your job as the offensive line. Stop me. Do your job. So, you know, maybe he's, yes, you don't
Yep.
need to hit the quarterback, but on the other hand, he's saying DJ Glaze, this is on you, bro. This is your job is to protect the quarterback. I'm hitting your quarterback because you're not doing your job. So maybe it will make, some of the guys better, maybe not, but either way, you can't be touching your quarterback or hitting your quarterback when he wears the red jersey, like Twan said. You got the red jersey on for a reason, and there's no reason you could be hitting that. And I get the fact that he plays like he practices. Okay, you can play like you practice and run by quarterbacks like you do in the game. You know what I mean? You ain't got to hit you ain't got to touch them all the time because there's many times you run by quarterbacks constantly getting juked. So I just don't see why it's necessary that you can't follow rules because you're Max Crosby.
Or they run by him.
Yeah, or they run by him, right?
All right, thank you, fellas. Good night.
The battle is over, but the fight never ends. Tonight, you stepped into the arena. You stood your ground. You spoke your truth, and Raider Nation heard you. Until the next battle, keep your shield raised, keep the silver and black close, and never run from the moment. This was Fight or Flight with Black the quarterback. Stand and fight. Stand and fight. Fight or flight.
Not bad for the
That
first
was
show.
that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.